Okay.
right now. So now we're recording, and plus, I also have obviously the ability to edit, so we can.
Because I'm gonna like mess up my words at some point.
I'm not gonna edit that much, but like most people have me edit out like one or two names. They're like, "Ooh, I didn't want them to know." Yeah. So it's like, yay! And so I'll just take a quick note. Speaking of which, all right. So it started at 11:17. All right.
It's actually 2:17.
What?
It's It's 2 where I am.
My bad. Let me correct my notes. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, teacher.
Edit that, please.
Yeah. So, okay. So, hi everyone. We're starting an introduction. I never wanted to do introductions, but I have been talked to, and it's like you have to do an introduction. You have to tell us what's going on.
Who am I? Serious.
Well, wait. What episode? This is episode 5. So episode 5 of the Giancarlo podcast. Today is 10/11/2020. We're supposed to do a birthday podcast.
I'm sorry.
Ooh, but no, I love how much effort you gave for that. You were like, okay, 1 hour. Okay, another hour later. Okay, another hour later, but it's got to be short. And I'm just like, breathe. Like another day is fine.
Last week was so rough. Like it was just. There was a lot that went on last week.
Well,
just with school. So,
Kelsey, would you like to tell me a little bit about you and your last week?
So I'm a second grade teacher at Old Mission Peninsula School in Michigan, in Traverse City, Michigan. So we're up in that little like divot. I think technically we're the UP, the Upper Peninsula. I think we're in the middle. We're kind of like not really the upper, but not really the lower. So, and last week
how long you been
was there? 2 months now.
2 months. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you moved into the new place?
Nope. We have 27 days.
Almost. Fingers crossed. That's
27 days.
Appreciate the struggle.
Yes. I just actually went and bought like something that I could have waited to buy, but it was on sale. So
what'd you do?
It's really cute. It's just like a blue like table.
Okay.
Like an entry table.
Okay, so it's small. You could work with it.
Oh, it's not like huge. It fits in my car.
When you get something big and you're carrying like one of those like what are those like KitchenAid mixers, and you're like, it's a good price, and you're like, yeah, it's 100 pounds too.
Should have seen me when I got the Instapot.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, oh, this is really heavy. I didn't realize how heavy this was.
This is convenient but inconvenient.
But not really, yeah. But yes, 27 days, and I cannot wait, and it's gonna be great. Oh my gosh.
Where were you before?
Like right now, or like last year?
Michigan.
Minnesota, up at the tip top of the state. We were an hour away from the Canadian border, so we were on Lake Superior. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Except I ran into a bear twice. So there's that.
Bear?
It was a big bear.
Bear? He came back for more?
Yeah. He was like at one point in front of my yard, and I could hear him walking around. Like, oh, I'm done with this.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever come across a bear. Not like close distance, at least. In Florida, I came across alligators and crocodiles, but like.
And those are like whatever.
Yeah, it's like
but a bear.
Yeah, bears, there's something else, because like bears, like they say bears are like big dogs, right? And so they're like playful in a sense. So you want to like, but
and they're cute. You think that they're cute.
Yeah.
But not cute. Especially when you have 2 dogs who, we were on a walk and I took them out and I was like, oh, we're going to turn around right now, very slow. I talked to them like I was talking to my kids, and it was just ridiculous.
Dude, that is what helps. Like just kind of talking yourself through stuff. Like, okay, everything is fine. We're good.
We're just gonna back up a little bit. We're not gonna turn around yet. We're gonna breathe.
No big movements, no quick movements. Do you know never turn your back on an animal? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So it was like on a road that had like windy. And so when I got up to the one at the top of the hills and I saw it, I backed up. And then the moment that I got to the second wind, I booked it home. Like the
Yeah.
dogs and I just ran as fast as we could. And then I got the bear mace.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you're gonna now have protection. Yeah.
Yeah, but not here. I haven't seen. I hit a raccoon here, but that's about it.
You hit?
Yeah, it was really sad. It was a
Oh,
sad
okay.
day.
Making sure I heard it correctly. Like, yeah. Yeah, that sucks, dude. When you see that happen, or when you're the one that does it, and then it's just
Or
like,
when you feel it hit your car
yeah.
on your way to work.
Oh, and then you're like, I gotta keep going.
I turned around. I actually turned around to see if it was okay, and then I couldn't find it. So I think he was fine. I'm just gonna just.
Yep, he's fine. He's
It's
fine.
fine.
He's
It's
great.
okay.
He's living it up. He has a story to tell.
Yes.
Dude, I was mountainside going down like a mountain and with my family in the car in this SUV, and I'm driving. It's really late and it's raining, mind you. I'm going way too fast than I should have been,
Of course.
and I see in the middle of the road, I'm like, are those legs? Are those feet in the middle of the road? And I'm driving,
Feet?
and so yeah, like human legs. I'm like, I just see legs. I just think I see legs. And so I kind of like just tilt a little bit. I'm like, I don't, whatever it is, it shouldn't be there. And then I see two pairs of legs. And then I'm like, is there two people in the road? What the fuck is going on? And I was and next thing I know, and like I said, I'm going really quick. So this happening in like seconds. And then I see a deer in the middle of the road. And so there's a deer in the middle of the road, and I'm just going right past it. And I'm hillside, like next to me is a cliff. And I'm going closer to the cliff to avoid the deer. And I don't know if you know, but the thing is like deers, like they panic. So they can just jump into the car anyway because they don't know what to do. Lucked out. Definitely lucked out. Definitely nothing happened. And then like after it happened, the whole family like is reacting. What was that? Oh my God, that was a deer. And I'm like, we're fine. We're fine. Are we? Everyone fine? Okay, we're fine.
Move on from that.
Yeah, keep driving. But yeah, like, dude, that was a close call too. I learned a lesson.
Don't drive so fast in rain.
On a mountain.
On a mountain.
Yeah,
Yes.
with the family. If you're alone.
Be alone, you're fine.
So what was the other bear story?
So I went on a walk twice, and this all happened within like 2 weeks. And no, within a week. And so the first time I went on a walk today, I saw it. I was heading towards home, and it was like on the way to my house. And so the dogs and I were walking, and I just kind of stopped, and I had to wait for it to walk across the road. But mind you, like I'm going that direction.
Yeah.
So I have like a water bottle with me, and I'm like banging it against their leashes and just making so much noise and like coughing and
Yeah.
and so our 2-year-old dog, who's still a puppy, and he's pulling at, and so I'm pretty much yelling like, Kale, no, and just making as much noise as I can. And then so that was the first time, and the second time it was on the other side, so I had just left my house. But
yeah. Wait, so then he just walked away, crossed, kind of gave it an extra like a breather, and then you got home.
Then I got home, and it was fine. Yeah, I tried to call on my cell phone to Alex, and I was like, who's my boyfriend? And so of course we're in the middle of nowhere, so I don't have service, and so I just had to figure it out.
The phone at the bear, you're just like
I'm like, I don't even care anymore, like I just want to get home. So yeah, but not here. Here there's more people, so we went from like 1,200 people to 15,000. So I'm set.
You like it more? Like, how long were you in Minnesota?
So I went there for school, so 2011 to last year, or this, what, like 2 months ago? But we moved up to up north 2 years ago. So we were up there for 2 years.
So 11 to last year? You were there for like 9 years?
Yeah, since we got out of high school.
8 years, 9 years? What? Dang, that's crazy to think of. But yeah, I guess. And that's how like all the conversations have been going when you catch up with friends. It's like, it's been a decade.
It's been that long? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Like, I haven't seen you in like a year.
Yeah, it's been a year. Yeah, I recently switched phones, and in the process, I came across like this video I had of you coming over.
Yep.
I was like, oh yeah. When's the last
Yeah,
time you were here though?
that was the last time I was there.
Well, you lie. I know you visit your family, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna tell John. I'm not gonna. I know.
You're on to me all the time. I
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
all the time.
Because
And I hope that you'll never see me while I'm driving and
duck. You, that car. Yeah, I got you on the Find My iPhone app, so I'm watching. I don't
you're
have
on to me.
a phone, but somehow I've hacked that. So
Okay. No, I'll be back for Luke is graduating high school. Okay, we don't need to show off. I
okay.
just have my like.
Dude, look, oh, that's cute. That's cute.
Right?
Dude, Luke is graduating high
He's
school.
graduating high school. Can you imagine? Like, oh my gosh.
Amazing.
It feels so weird. And Lacey, she's in her second year of college.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Luke is super tall too.
How's mom doing?
Mom's good. Mom is mom's good. She remarried and much better.
Good. That's nice.
Yeah.
How do you think it is? How do you think? Okay, so like you saw her sanity when she had 3 youngins, right? Where do you think her sanity is now that now all the youngins are not so young?
So I think she's still insane. But I think that her like
She knows how to be.
what?
The only way she knows how to be.
The only way. The only way. Luke will send me like Snapchats of mom just doing things, and Luke, Lacey, and I have like our own group of Snapchat, and so he sent one to us, and he's like, she just won't chill out. All she's doing is like, so like my stepdad is like playing the guitar, and she's trying to hang something up on the wall, and she goes, yeah, keep playing that. That's real nice. Keep playing that.
I miss her so much.
Well, you can go see her anytime.
Where are they now? Where are they at right now?
They're still in Oakdale.
In Oakdale. Which house?
They are on.
Well, or do you want me to cut it out? the house. Like, where does your family live?
They're still on Reed Road. So like do you remember where you went last year? They're still there.
I remember last year we met at the church. Oh yeah. Oh,
you came over, we hung out in the backyard with the pool.
I sadly I don't remember exactly where, but I do remember doing it. Yeah.
I don't even remember the number.
Yeah, it's like we were there once out of the many times in every other area.
Well, and it's like it's not my house too. So I don't have anything that's there that's mine. So
that's what it feels like when I go to my house in Leah.
Mm-hmm.
That one. Cause yeah, my dad remarried. Well, I don't think technically married, but like relationship, right?
Yeah.
Cohabitating
with there we go. Cohabitating
with sounds so much weirder.
It's weird.
With Chieko. Did you ever meet Chieko? She's been around for a while.
I think I might have.
Yeah.
But
she's been here for a minute. Always been a super sweet woman. She's such a sweet woman. Japanese.
Okay.
entire family. So now her family's kind of like got into the house and all that. And
Is he
when
still at your like original house?
same house,
Okay.
same
Same
house.
house.
And so when I go there, it's funny because like my dad and I like we hang out in the house for a second, but it's not our zone anymore. We section ourselves to the garage and the workshop, which is like the man cave, you know. And and it's fine, but it's just funny because the times have changed. It's like,
Yep.
oh, okay, this is different now. Oh,
This
interesting.
is not my house anymore. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and like, so Nan and Papa moved. You knew that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when you were telling me that he was selling it, right?
Yeah. So like, I don't have anything that is like when I go home, like, I don't know, I go to stay. I don't have like it's not like my place. So it's weird. But my dad, like, he moved to Florida in like the family home. So I'm just like, that's my place.
Yeah, the familiarity.
Yeah. It's not Oakdale.
Yeah, when you get into Oakdale, you're like, I'm still not used to it, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're preaching to the choir. Being that I don't know my first house. I don't know my second house, my third house. Like I remember probably just a random house and it's like, oh, okay, I remember that one.
Yeah.
And so yeah, when I visit, but now the houses in Birchall and Wenatchee,
Mm-hmm.
those two houses have now been in my life the longest. So now it is familiar, but it's not familiar to my childhood, you know.
Right? Isn't it weird too?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you go into the house and it's a new house and you feel welcomed, but it's not
Not
familiar.
fully. Like, not fully. You're like, oh, okay. Like, do I touch this? Like, can I touch this? Do I sit over here? Like, do I take my shoes off? Because at the old house, I don't know. Like, we didn't take our shoes off. But now, like, I walk into my mom's new house and I'm like, there are shoes right there.
So clean.
What is this?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, what are the rules here? You know? But then
right?
it feels so cool. You feel like a king or a queen. I don't know how you self-identify. I don't know.
Queen. Thank
you like
you.
you feel like royalty.
Yes.
When you enter one of those houses and they're like, oh yeah, but not you. You don't have to take your shoes off. Just come in here. Like we just want to see you.
We just want you here since
Yeah,
you're never here.
that feels so good. That feels like I'll take my shoes off, guys.
Right? Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll take my bag for me? Thank you.
Yeah. And then you're like, my jacket's keeping me pretty warm. Anyone want to grab that? Okay.
No? Okay.
You get comfortable to the quality of life so quick.
Yeah. I think the last time I was home, it was so nice not having to make like my own coffee. Like that's the smallest thing, but I didn't have to make it. It was already made for me and handed to me. And I was like, oh, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a treat. And it's something so simple, but you're like, you feel, yeah, it's like, oh, is it a special day? Is it an occasion?
It's not my birthday.
Coffee.
What is this? It's just coffee.
I got it. Dude,
Oh man. But yeah, I'll be back in May. So
okay, wait. May. What are you doing?
Luke is graduating.
In May?
Yeah. Is that when they graduate? I don't remember.
The school teacher just asked.
Okay, well here's the thing. Just hold on. So we always would be done with school in May in California.
Mm-hmm.
Here, they're done in June.
Dang.
Like, yeah. But in California, they would start in August. Here, we start in September.
Yeah.
So it made sense, but it's still weird.
I'm gonna be a broken record and say you're preaching to the choir because I moved from coast to coast and I had to experience that through school when it's like oh yeah, you just
called junior high. Don't just until junior high. Then you were in Oakdale. Then you were used to it from then on.
I got to do high school. And I moved in junior high. I got to junior high late, you know? So it's like, I got to do high school. I got one, and even high school I didn't finish. I got sent to a continuation school.
Well, whose fault was that?
The school.
Yeah.
I blame the system.
Okay, the system is pretty fucked. I have to say the system is pretty fucked.
Blame the student or the system?
This is not a teacher talking. This is your best friend talking. I blame you.
I thought you were gonna be like, it's totally the system. Yeah, you're my best friend. It's like, no, as your best friend, this is 90%.
Shiver.
Yeah,
Shiver.
we're still here.
Shiver.
Dude, she's like
old.
Yeah, she's 15. She's
super old. That
junior high.
Do you remember Skittles? She's still around.
Wait, here she is.
Shiver. Oh my goodness.
She's
little girl.
Cutie. Yeah, she limps a lot more now, you know. Like, really her hips. But we had our AC broke, and we had people come over, and they just fell in love with Shiver. They were like,
who doesn't? She's amazing.
I love her so much.
I love her.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We also had a dog recently pass on us too, so it's like,
oh no.
There's like a lot of love there, and so Shiver's getting extra love too. But
extra love.
Yeah.
Oh, Shiver. Well, I have a photo of in my classroom. I have a photo.
Oh,
he's cute.
Wait, is that both your dogs?
That's both. So here's Zayners.
Okay, yeah.
And here's Kale.
Dude, Kale looks like a stuffed animal.
Oh, I know. Like yeah. He's super teeny. Well, he was tiny. Now, here, I'll show you. Now he's like big.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. My dad now has a
Does he have a teeny tiny dog?
No. He has a golden retriever Malamute.
What? That's huge.
Gorgeous. He has the golden retriever like blonde hair, but a thick amount of Malamute hair. So it's like just so much like
that's awesome.
Gorgeous. It's like annoyingly pretty, and he's missing a toe. He's so cute. Yeah. And he's so sensitive about it. Like, you know, you'll rub dogs everywhere and all that. You touch
his he's missing it. Like he
knows. He's sensitive about it.
Poor guy.
It's not like it's like raw or anything. Like it's like it looks fine, but he's sensitive about it.
Poor sensitive dog. But golden retrievers are very sensitive. Like
little babies.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what Zane is. Zane is half golden, half lab, and he is like the most sensitive dog. We have to watch our tone of voice.
Oh.
Yeah. So that I'm dealing with children all day, and then I deal with you.
and then Alex. And
then Alex.
And then me.
And then you. I'm like, wow. I don't get away from it.
You're like, why am I the adult all the time?
I want to be the kid one time.
I want to be the adult. Mommy.
Oh gosh. But yeah. Oh my gosh. What was it? Where do we start with this?
I was gonna say with the tone, with the last thing with the tone of the dog. I hate when like I get a little annoyed at Shiver because she has a tendency, because she's a border collie, she likes to herd me or likes to try to get me to go in a certain way, and so she'll just.
Does she bop you with her nose?
Not as much as Jenny did.
Okay. Because Kale will come up and bop you with his nose, and because he is like my butt height.
So you just get like little wet butt every now and then. You're like, ah.
And he'll come full force at you, and I'm like, God damn it, dog.
What's Kale?
He is border collie, and they told us pit bull, but I don't see it. I think it's border collie and Australian shepherd.
We think that Jenny was like maybe a little bit of pit bull, a little bit of boxer, and a little bit of shepherd. But yeah, she had the tendency to. That was how she would greet you. It was with her
Yep.
nose. She used it.
Yeah.
I would talk about it all the time. I'm like, it's interesting because like it's almost like she's using her nose as an appendage. Like it's like if you had a finger,
Hello.
yeah, and you're just like touching things with your nose, like. And I would hate it because I'd sleep on the couch and she would like boot me in the face, and I'm like, she's just like, hi.
Yes. That's what Kale does. But he's like he does that, but then he'll lean into you for anything. He just has to lean into you.
Schiffer. And now Jenny too. Jenny was a dude. Is he kind of almost lethargic? Like he'll just like flop around. Like
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
Jenny, that's exactly like Shiver doesn't really like it when I pick her up. She's independent,
That's how Kale Zane is. He won't do it.
Jenny, like I would scoop my arms under her and then she would just like, oh, here it is. And like I would pick her up and she would just slinky down and then I'd have to like get her head up and she just and like she was so funny, dude.
That's what Alex, so whenever we take him on a walk, and Kale grew up with the bears, so like he's very protective, and so he hasn't been around like city. So the other day we were walking him and a fire truck went by and he was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
Like,
uh-oh.
and so other animals, sometimes he's very like quick to react. So Alex will pick him up and hold him, and he just goes, okay. But yeah, so
I love that characteristic in dogs. That is like so cute,
I love it. Oh,
yeah, and you just see it
they're
when
so different too. Like Zane and Kale are just night and day different. It's weird.
well, yeah, being a parent and they say being a teacher, you really get to see how personalities come out, like it's like everyone is different. It's not just your background because your
Yeah.
background has a lot to do with it. But even before your upbringing is involved, like certain people, dogs, animals, living creatures just react differently. And it's like personality, it's like you were saying with the tone. Like, yeah, like I was saying, if I get even like a little annoyed sometimes, I'm just like, go. She just, oh
no.
And then I'm like, I'm not mad. Like you're like, so yeah. Where like Jenny, no, she was just like, okay.
Kale is. He could care less. If he's in trouble, he's like, whatever, I hear you, but I'm not coming over.
Exactly.
Like,
no, that's literally you're Jenny. Yeah. My friends and I, we would like, we're smoking, we're drinking, we're having a good night. And we're like, dude, Jenny's so lethargic. Watch this. And we're all hanging out. And Jenny like would sleep like almost in the other room, but like in view of us. And we were all four of us, Jenny! 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 And she never turned around for like 5 minutes. And then finally, we're dying laughing while we're doing it. And then she just like gets enough energy to like move the head and like look at us. Oh man, yeah. So like that lazy lethargicness is.
It's funny because like Kale's lazy, but then also he has so much energy as well.
Yeah, once he gets built up, once you get him wind up,
and he's quick. Like he's border collie. He's just quick, fast. But oh my gosh, yeah. Like it's so funny, the personalities, and then like I have that, but then in the classroom, like I have two twins. I have a twin set, and in the classroom, and one of them is all for asking me questions. He like wants help. He like wants to come to me. The other one is like, I don't know if I can trust you yet. Like, I'm gonna just stay over here. And he's very quiet. But the one is like, you can call on me. I'm ready.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because I'm like, you guys, you're identical twins.
I was gonna ask, like, are we talking identical? Yeah. Talking like boy girl? Like,
oh yeah, like to the point that I have to be like, okay, who has the braces? Like, which one is it? Because I can't remember. And then one is on one side and one's on the other. And so I have to like remember who is wearing what today. And like, and I still mess it up.
Yeah, I'm
My
trying
team.
to think of like a trick I would have. Like,
Well, and I can't look at their shoes because they wear the same shoes. So it doesn't. So they don't wear the same mask. So that helps. But
oh, okay.
yeah. So speaking
I,
of masks,
I
like I'm wearing a mask all day is just it's hard. It's
yeah,
really hard.
yeah. It's not preferable for sure. I
But it's kind of fun. Like
yeah, yeah, exactly. You can have fun with
yeah,
them.
so like you can have fun with it. But yeah, I put this on and the kids were like, "Oh, I love your mask."
Cute.
Thank you.
That's the thing
But yeah.
about like life. Like how much about life is fun? You know, a lot of it is tedious, monotonous, annoying, and
Yeah, it's not that fun.
you gotta make it fun. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm not exactly like a fan of the masks, it's like it's not
Mhm.
fun. But yeah, you can
I
make it
get
fun.
it. Like I mean, who is a fan? Like it's
I think there's certain people that think it's really cool looking that they're like, finally, I get to cover up my face. Like it looks like a ninja, like so they have the hood and the mask, and they're like
yeah, I can see how some would have it fun, but then like I don't know, for me at least as a
more
teacher,
practical.
having what?
I was saying like, but it being practical, like that's the annoying part. It's like it's
Yeah.
fun, it's cool, but it's not practical. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying, but like for
I mean,
me as a teacher, like I can't show them my full emotion because like I smile so much during the day and I like make fun like it's fun that way. But so sometimes I have to like back up like so that I'm way over at my desk and I take it off and I'm like, see guys, I'm smiling, you can see. Like
yeah,
um
that's true.
yeah. Because sometimes if I'm just talking to them and when I get angry with them, like they can't see that I'm like fully angry. They just hear my tone and that sometimes is not enough.
It doesn't come through exactly. Yeah.
No.
There's I like to bring up like the difference in like American language versus like Mandarin, for example, English. So it's like you have the difference in tones. In
Hmm.
English, we really only have like three tones, which would be like monotone and then like
Yep.
low, like
Annoyed.
huh?
Annoyed.
Yeah, that'd be like I think
Yeah.
like consider like an aggressive tone, like
Yeah. That would be
tone. Like there's passive, neutral, and aggressive. Where in like in like Mandarin, they have between 6 to 9 tones. So it's like 6 is the minimum. So if you want to learn their alphabet, if you want to learn their language, you have to be able to do 6 different tones, or else it will not be perceived correctly.
what? That is like that's a crazy amount.
Yeah, and
I'm
then
trying to think of like how many tones do I have? I have too many
it's
tones.
one of those like it's not all, it's all. It's like all. It's like it's
And you have to move your mouth with it too.
I didn't learn it, I didn't do it. but I am a little familiar. I've seen it, and it's like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I can't. And it's the same as like it's similar to like when you mess with the pitch in like video audio editing software.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, like it's like you're saying something
How
completely.
high do you want to go?
It's
Like
to us, it's like you're saying the same thing, but it's like no, it's like you say the same letter in those different octaves, and they're different letters.
that's insane. I
And
don't know if I could keep up with that, to be honest.
well, what's cool about it is that their mind develops differently, and so they're
True.
social. They socialize better generally because they are aware of their tones. You know,
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
us, it's like we're finally wearing masks, and we're like, why am I not getting my message across?
Great.
We didn't realize how much we were relying on expression, emotion.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. Well, it is nice. So Alex always tells me that I have no poker face.
You
So
have,
when I'm up, what?
you have no poker face?
I have no poker face.
I believe
So Yeah. You know. So when I'm mad or annoyed with something, like, people know. And I try and hide it, but now that I have a mask, it helps really well.
That's cool. So you get to see the difference between when people could tell, like it's like, oh, I can instantly tell that she's mad. Versus
Yep.
now you can hide it more,
Hide,
And so
which
you
is great.
how people react to you differently. It's like, oh, normally people would think I'm upset, but this mask,
I don't think people would think I'm a bitch right now,
eh,
but
my face.
they don't even know.
Yeah, I like the two things that makes me think of is resting bitch face, right? Where you just but I think like people say it and it sounds worse than it is. It's like, yeah, you're reacting to a world that's been pretty rough to you. So you've been rough back, but
Yeah.
you can't be rough all the time. Resting bitch face, and I forgot the second one. But I mean, whatever.
What I don't even know.
We're
I'm
talking
like
about
trying to think.
we're talking about the mask, and it's just like being able to tell. And it's like it covers up resting bitch face. But there was one other thing that I was gonna lead into, and I was like, dang, no, but I just lost it.
Done.
I do have some notes that I wanted to like reference back to what we've already said.
Okay, go for it.
Something silly and simple that I wanted to touch on. When I was doing life insurance,
Hmm.
I would commonly get the Spanish speakers because, and so I would a lot of times like have this guy named Brian, really good guy, love Brian. He was one of those guys that's like a little older than you, but just not, he's just like
Yeah.
doesn't treat you like that,
Yeah. It's always
Uh,
nice to find.
yeah, good friend. Um, and he would go there a lot of times, so he didn't speak a lick of Spanish, so he would just like sit there and like
Uh-huh.
it's life insurance. So I'll be like, so they'll be talking to me like how their dad died, and he's like, yeah.
Oh,
But he
what
learned
face you have.
he learned how to pick up on the emotion. Like he got
Okay.
better at it over time. But my favorite part was we would constantly bring up in this area. Excuse me. In this area, I know it's a weird habit. In this area, we have a large amount of people from Michoacan, which is in Mexico. Michoacan.
I've
Um,
never heard it that way before.
Michoacan?
Wait, is that a city?
It's a place in Mexico.
Okay, never mind. Got it.
And so this is where it is. It's like we would constantly like, oh, you're from Michoacan? Like, oh, I have family from Michoacan. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I've been there a few times. And it's just like, how long you been here? And like, we're talking about it. And then like the whole time, like after weeks, he finally says like, oh, I thought you guys were talking about Michigan. Like the whole time we're always speaking. And he's like, why is everyone from Michigan?
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, I just thought that's how you guys said it. Like,
Just thought that's how you pronounced it.
and I remember now, like I was talking to a guy and we were mentioning Michoacan, and I look over to Brian. I'm like, what about you? And he goes, no, never been to Michigan. And then both of us just like stop. We're like, what? Have you been thinking we're talking about Michigan this whole time?
Oh my gosh. Nah, never been there. That's hilarious. But this is where I am.
Yeah. I thought that was so funny so there's probably like people from Michoacan that thinks like, are they talking about Michoacan or something like that? Anyway,
Right.
that's my thing.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you got maybe 30 minutes left?
No, I could do another hour.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. It's only 3 here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But didn't you say 3:30?
No, 4:30.
Oh, my bad. Okay, cool. Then yeah, then my bad on the time. We're totally good.
Yeah, we're good. I was like, we've got an hour, like hour and a half to still go. So
4 hours.
how long your normal ones are?
How long are they?
Yeah.
My normal ones, the goal was always 3 hours because I always figured I can cut it down from there. Like
Okay.
it was a good for me. It was like this was my mindset. I was like, I'm asking for 3 hours of your time because most of the time people have to leave early before like something comes up, you know. So it's like odds are I'll get at least 2 good hours, you know.
There.
For me, it's like I want it to be around there, but I've also been real like people have been vocalizing that 3 hours or most of them are around 2.5 hours. That 2.5 hours is like too long, and I'm like, don't watch it. Like it's like I love the support. Like it means a lot to me. Like it's I don't want to sound like a jerk or anything, but it's like if you don't if that's annoying you, if the length is annoying you, then like start it like an hour left in the episode and watch
Yeah.
the last hour. You know, it's like it's not a movie. There's not like progression.
And plus, like, you can always listen to it. Like, I listen to when I drive, I listen to Wine and Crime, the podcast, Wine and Crime.
What's that?
It is Minnesota based. There are 3 women who they pair their wine that they're drinking that day with the podcast that they're going to talk about. So like one what?
Wine and crime?
Wine and Crime.
What's the crime?
It's every episode is different. So like one episode was necrophilia.
Oh,
That was number 1. That was the first one. As I was driving from Michigan back to Minnesota to start like packing, and I was like, "Whoa, this is all right. This is how we're starting my drive." And then there was one that's like lucky bastards, people that got away with murder for like years. What was another one? There's so many. I think they have like 3 or 4 seasons now. But listening to that, like I stay awake and it is hilarious. Like I really do think it's funny. But then like I watch like Criminal Minds and all that stuff. So of course I'm gonna listen to it. Love it.
My friend asked me the other day, like, you watch those true crime shows? And I'm like, no, kind of just not like I don't know. Like I did at one point, you know, like at one point it was like really fun. Like I think like at its height, I totally was bandwagon. But then once it lost traction, it lost it with me too. But I do love listening to my podcasts.
I love it. Like I was never really like a big podcast person, and then I put that on just because Alex's mom was like, well, I know you watch these, so you should check this out. And it is
cool.
It's so good.
Nice.
I think so. Maybe it's a little weird, but
I'm still a movie freak. You remember?
Of course. Which by the way, I'm watching Edward Scissorhand this week.
Nice. What do you like or like?
No, I'm gonna watch it at like one of these nights for Halloween.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta have like Edward Scissorhands. You gotta do Nightmare Before Christmas. That's the
Of course. Hocus Pocus.
Ooh, that's a good one.
One of my favorites.
That's a nice touch. What will be another one? Like some classic scaries, you know.
Yep. The Shining.
Do you know Jelaine?
No.
You don't know Jelaine? No, a friend of ours, Jelaine, like Albania. Okay. We were hanging out with her recently. Oh, she was episode 3. Anyway, Jelaine, we were hanging out with her and she has never seen The Shining. And
it's been years since I've seen it. Like years, to the point that I need to like remember what it's about. Like I know what it's about. No, that was wrong. But like it's been years.
The full immersion. Like
yes.
There's a feel. Because that with older movies, they couldn't do as much cinematic stuff, you know? So like the VFX, now it's like so there was like a much like more of a feeling back then.
Mhm.
Like you weren't nowadays when you watch like a scary movie, you're not afraid of what the movie's about. But back then, it was about that feeling.
Well, I am.
Tell me, what's a recent scary movie that you were like, I can't look at something the same again. Like I can't look at computer. I don't know.
Oh God, what was it? Have you seen Lake Mundo?
Lake Mundo.
Or Mundo, Lake Mundo. Yeah, I feel like you would like it.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's an Australian-based movie. Or like The Ritual. Have you seen that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well you need to watch those. Ooh, the one that like, what's that? I can't remember. Yeah, those are two. And then, shoot. Do you remember the movie that like the little girl? It was in the commercials, and she just clicked like that.
Oh, Mama.
Yeah, no, no, it was a different one.
There was one where yeah, like the mom like kept the kids like in a shack, and so the kids were all animalistic.
No, not that one. But what is that called?
Mama.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. Have you seen Sinister? Well, before I continue, Lake Mundo.
Lake Mundo. It is. It's not like a thriller, but it definitely like it builds up to it.
Oh, so it's like it doesn't
You
like
don't see
yeah.
it coming.
Nice. That's good. That's good storytelling. Where
Yeah, it was good.
they don't just like okay, so let me write a couple down.
And then the school.
All right, what'd you say?
The Ritual.
The Ritual. What's that one?
It is so these guys, this group of these like 4 guys go on a camping trip, 4 or 5, and it's like they want to go before I think one kid got married, and like before they're too old and wives take over their lives, kind of thing.
Sure.
And so because women do that. Well, some.
Talking about.
So they go on this, and I think it's not a like United States film. It's like an Iceland or Ireland based one. And so they decide to cut through instead of one guy, he gets injured, and they decide to cut through over there where I can see the resort over there. It's through the woods. No, you never go through the woods. You always stick to the path.
Why is there a path?
Always stick to the path. Like, no. So then all this, like, all sorts of, I wouldn't say I don't think it's a thriller. Maybe it's not like gory. It's,
okay.
I don't want to give too much away, but it's good. And it is, there's not like a killer per se.
Okay. That makes me think of another one.
Which one are you thinking of?
Well, I wrote a couple down that I want to talk to you about because I got some scary movies that it's like, okay, if you got like a scary movie kind of theme going on.
Let me think of one that.
But like, for example, The Ritual, that makes me think of, sounds like a cool movie, it's like, I feel like I'm picking up what you're putting down. Kind of, we'll say supernatural, maybe.
Yeah, well,
maybe. Don't need too much.
Okay, I won't tell you. I'm looking right now at I'm trying to find the ones that I've watched before, on Netflix. There's oh God, what are they? They're so good. There's so many horror movies. I'm just gonna look up horror movies.
Have you heard of it's old, all my movies are normally older. I like older ones. Have you heard of a movie called Identity?
I think so.
That one's really good.
Identity.
It's a psychological thriller.
Ooh. Okay.
Very good. It's hard. It's kind of hard to keep up with because
Okay.
it kind of got these multiple layers. But just hit me up. I'll explain it. I got you.
I'm trying to think of another. I'm looking. As above, so below.
No, I don't know that one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's good, but like it's not amazing. I don't think it's amazing. I think The Ritual, and I think that one is better than than that one.
Okay, but it's one that you've seen on like what, Netflix recently?
Yeah. I'm looking at some other ones. I'm trying to find. There's one where I'm like, oh, I feel like you would really like it, and I can't remember what it is. Is it The Forest? No, Gerard's Game. It's not like I guess that's not like it's not scary. It's just a psychological horror.
Oh, okay. Gerard's Game.
Mm-hmm. Looking at more.
Have you heard of? Well, I mentioned Sinister, but so you saw that one?
Yes, I think I've seen that one. What?
Think you've seen it?
I'm pretty sure I have.
That is one of hands down my favorite scary movies.
Hold on. Let me see. Sinister.
It's one of my favorite scary movies because like you know how they always say like they don't make scary movies like they did back in the day, like the feel is off,
Yeah.
I think this is a really good job at getting that feel where it's like where you're afraid to look at the screen. You're like, oh
no, I have not seen this one. Okay. So that is gonna be put up on. I was thinking of a different one. It has a little boy. Oh God, what is it?
Insidious.
Insidious.
I think you're talking about Insidious.
Yeah, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
That one
so.
After and had a lot more publicity.
Yeah, I think that's the one I was thinking of. But there's also it's what is it? It's like While I'm Asleep or While I'm Awake.
Yeah.
Is it While I Sleep?
While I Wait?
While I Wake?
Something.
I think so.
I don't know it, but I've heard that like term. Like
yeah. Let me look because that one was good. I think it's still up on. No, it's not. But that one was good, and that one I was like, I can't watch this anymore. Like it was so creepy.
If you find out which one it is, send it to me because I love finding movies online and just watching them.
Maybe it's As I Wake.
As I Wake. That sounds like
As I Wake. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Have you heard of? Okay, wait. Okay, have you heard of Cabin in the Woods?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yes. I like it.
I love.
Have you seen Hush?
No.
So I watched it, and then of course we moved to the middle of nowhere where like our closest neighbor is like 2 miles away.
Yeah.
We watched that one, and I'm like,
now you're just in the zone.
Like I can't think about it.
Do you know the movie Dead Silence?
I don't think so.
It was a scary movie. Well, I mean, anyway, it was a scary movie back in the day for high school for us. But I remember my friend Jesse and I watched it, and essentially every time something bad happens, dead silence happens. Just boom, everything gets quiet, lights turn off, flickers, right?
And something's about to happen.
Yeah. Like, right? And so it was funny that we watched it. My friend Jesse and I got like scared. We were in high school, and that night he tells me the next day, but that night the exact same thing happens to him. He's like laying down in his bed, and the lights turn off, the fan turns off, the speakers turn off, and everything just goes boom. And he was like, ah! And it was because he had everything plugged in one outlet.
Of course, so it all went, yeah.
Like just like tilted it, and so everything just went.
That made sense. Yeah.
With his own pants, right there.
No. So there you go.
That's a really good one. Cabin in the Woods is great. Cabin in the Woods is one of my favorites as well, but I want to say this one, and it's not scary at all, but it does involve a murder, like death, essentially.
Okay.
So it's called Rubber.
What's it? Rubber?
Rubber. Please write it down. Please don't even think about it. Just write down Rubber. You will not regret this.
Okay.
This movie, I can't say changed my life because I'm still living it, but it's hard not to think of. It is a good movie.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't know.
Okay. Hold on. Let me look this up.
Yeah, I was like,
there's one where that I okay, is Insidious, is that the one with the no, what is that one? Shit. It's with the little girl. And that's the one where I'm like, she makes the noise.
I don't think I know that one.
If you don't know it, like
What else? Is there anything else you can think of about that movie? Except for the clicking?
yeah, but I feel like I don't want to give away too much. Hold on. Let me look it up. Because it was like a big movie that came out. Everyone knew about it.
Yeah.
I think it came out, I want to say 2 years ago.
Like I was saying, I'm a lot more familiar with like older cinema than newer. And like it's not that newer is not good. There's a lot of new stuff I love, but I'm just not as familiar, you know.
Yeah.
And
did you see The Invisible Man?
No, I didn't.
That one was good.
Yeah, I heard that they remade it, and I was hoping to watch it, but I totally forgot about it.
That one was good. Midsummer was interesting. I don't know if I liked it.
It's interesting.
It was interesting. I don't think I liked it though. I think it was made, okay, maybe I'm thinking it was made in 2018. I feel like this is one that you would have gone to see for some reason.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like newer movies. I feel like I don't watch too much because they always try to paywall, and I'm like super like I try to find everything online for free. Like
that's true. Hereditary.
The movie's called Hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, never heard of it.
It was
sounded sarcastic, but I haven't.
Like, oh my gosh. Whew. Yeah. So that one was a lot.
Not a scary movie, but what about The Reverend?
I haven't seen it.
That's the one where DiCaprio is like attacked by a bear.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. I wanted to see it.
I think that's a very hard thing to watch.
Really?
I don't think I've ever seen The Passion of the Christ, but people who have like always say like, oh, like it's you can't walk away without crying. You know, it's like it's gonna get it's like it's all it's on heartstrings. This movie is the first thing I can compare to that. Is like you cannot watch this movie without like feeling like
didn't he win something for that? Like he won his first.
He had to. Yeah,
I think that was the one. It was like I think there was a meme that went out like it took DiCaprio getting eaten by a bear.
Yeah. Like, yeah, there was.
Like he's done.
There was one like that. Now I can't remember what it was. But Rubber.
Oh my God. Rubber.
Like I said, it is nowhere near the same theme as what we've been talking about. Like these are like more scary movies, more thriller, more stuff like that. But you will not regret the time you spend watching Rubber. Like now, I want to say this, which I can edit it out. I don't know how we feel. I do suggest to have any sort of buzz going, like whether it's like alcohol or I don't know, cigarettes, whatever you feel. there's a lot of other things I could have said. You get my point?
Well,
So
I am in a legal state, so.
no. Yeah, that's all I was thinking of.
No, I know. I know what you were thinking of.
So, yeah, there's a lot of ways to get that buzz. And what I'm suggesting is like, hey, this is a movie that you don't want to watch with like a critical, boring eye. You want to watch with an enjoyable.
So I'll be a little wine drunk.
Wine drunk is perfect for this.
Perfect.
You will be on the edge of your seat cheering them on. You're go, go, go. I love this movie so much. But like I said, it's weird, it's meta, but I really don't think you'll miss out on. I think you'll be like, it's worth the watch. And that's like what I say sometimes. Like some movies aren't the best movie, but it's worth watching it.
Oh God, there's one. Oh my God, what is it? It's fuck. I can't remember what it is. It's about. I feel like it came out on Netflix though. It's a horror. It kind of not really a horror movie, but it's good. Let me find it. It's about it's in Japan. You have to read captions. So, oh shoot, what is it? I'll think of what?
Parasite. That was the one.
Yeah, Parasite.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was the one I wrote.
I was like, that's the one I was thinking of. That one. Thoughts? What did you think of that one?
I haven't watched it yet. And like one day I was like super in the mood. I was like, yeah, let's watch it. I'm in the mood to watch it now. Because we have a long list of stuff to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned it on and I was like, wait, is this all subtitles? Like, yep. And then I was like, you know what? It's not that I refuse to watch a movie with subtitles, but I'm just not in that mood. Like, it's
worth it. It is worth it.
Yeah. And funny enough, we ended up watching a movie with all subtitles anyway, which is Pan's Labyrinth, but it's in Spanish. So I didn't have to read. I was listening. Like, they were the ones reading.
I think I've seen that one.
Pan's Labyrinth is amazing. It's made by the same guys who made Hellboy. Do you remember like this one guy who has no eyes?
Yes.
And he puts the balls in his hands?
Yep, I have watched that one. I was trying to remember another one that what was the other one that same person director made? Hellboy, but then there was other ones.
Yeah.
I went to did a show.
I think he also did the
water one. Yeah, The Shape of Water.
Didn't watch it. I haven't watched it. I heard it was amazing.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
I'll write it down.
Watch it. Shape of Water. I think there was one other one that he just did. I don't remember what it was.
Those artsy motherfuckers, gotta love them, right?
They were good. I actually ended up going to when we were in Minneapolis. He had a whole exhibit, and so we went and saw the whole exhibit, and it was awesome.
That must have been trippy, dude.
Yeah, it was a lot of. Yeah, it was cool. I was very impressed.
Can I talk about hallucinogenics, or would you prefer not? Okay. Go for it. And if I do, like, if it goes too far, we can obviously edit it. That's something that I would want to do on any sort of like hallucinogenics so hard, because it's already such an artistic level. Like, it's not just it's not just your typical art, which, that's not that typical art's not good. It's just not your typical art,
Right. Yeah.
And then for him to do something like, imagine watching, what's his name? Who's the guy? Melting Clocks. Dali? Is he Dali? Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali is the guy who made the painting of the melting clocks.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, imagine like when that came out, imagine like the first time that painting was invented, right? And then you go to an art museum on acid or something, and you see melting clocks, and you're like, all right, guys, too much. It's like
too much.
Yeah, it's like this acid has blended in with that one, and now I'm just back to normal reality. Like, it's just it sobered me up.
Well, it was definitely a good exhibit. I loved it, and I was not on anything.
Sure, sure. No, it's not for everyone, but I'm a proponent. I think it can within, you don't want to be dumb about it, but
Right.
just like
Yeah, it definitely was. It was amazing because then I think it was right after, um, or pretty soon The Shape of Water came out, and so being able to like, huh?
you're like way more in the moment with it.
Mhm. Yeah, it was really nice. I liked it.
Yeah, I wanted to watch that one, but tell me this: is The Shape of Water not more of a chick flick?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I will say, like, so one of our friends went and saw it with his parents, just because like Del Toro, he thought that, it was one of his, and so he went and saw it and he was like, "Whew, that was a really awkward moment with my parents right there."
Yeah,
And
yeah, I can imagine.
that's awkward. Um, but yes, I think it is like so it was, yeah. There were moments where I was like, hmm. But it made you a little uncomfortable, but not like super, I don't know.
Not too
But
much.
yeah, I feel like it was a chick flick a little bit.
That's the
Not
thing.
like his other films. It
Little,
was very different.
yeah. This one was a little more classy,
Mhm.
The other ones are a little more bro-ish or something.
Yeah,
But I mean, shoot, I've enjoyed my fair share of chick flicks, so it's not like a chick flick makes it a bad movie.
they're not terrible.
No, it's not terrible, and it's a great director. But the thing is like I gotta be in the mood, I
Yeah,
gotta like, I can't. I'm not always like, guys, something more emotional and estrogen,
I
right?
need a little bit more of like pink going on.
I want a lot more pink. I see pink. Uh, yeah, yeah. So, but it comes out. I'm not. I'll definitely be like, I need some pink in my life right now, and that sounds worse than I meant it to. But we're gonna watch a chick flick to to feed that urge.
Yeah.
um,
Oh my god.
Water, chick flick, good one. What's another? The most common chick flick, Mean Girls, right?
Mean Girls.
Yeah, that's the
It's
most,
October 3rd.
October 3rd. What?
It's for Mean Girls. She doesn't even go here.
Nice.
There's a 20% chance it's already raining.
I've only seen it, I don't know, 2 times. Yeah, 2 or 3 times. You know what I watched a lot of that I thought was a good chick flick back in the day? I think it's
Right.
called, oh, I saw that. That's a good one. That's really
That's a
good.
good one.
Those
It's
girls
one of
are
my favorites.
hilarious. They're
Hilarious.
they're making another one. They're making not another Bridesmaids, but they're making movies. I like them.
I like those ones. Yeah.
Um, dang it, lost it. What was I just saying? I was thinking about Bridesmaids now.
Really like that you watched a lot of.
I didn't. I cut you off. What?
Chick flick that you liked that you used to watch a lot of.
I think it's called The Sleepover or just Sleepover. And
It's older one, right?
yeah, everything. I'm always like everything's like 20 years old for me
Yep.
because my sister's older than me. So like I was watching her chick flicks.
Did you ever watch Jawbreakers?
Yes, only once when I was very young, so I don't remember it.
It's the chick flick. Well, I don't know though. It's not like a super chick flick, but
Kind of dark, right?
it's kind of dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Heather's.
Heather's?
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, that one.
I have an aunt Heather.
That's another one that it's older too. So like that's one. Um, Pretty in Pink.
Oh yeah. What's the Legally Blonde?
Legally Blonde. Yep.
You don't like it?
No.
I saw that. I caught that right there. You were like, Legally Blonde, yeah. That's not so much
Blonde.
is it? That's not so much a chick flick, is it?
It is. It is. It's totally a chick flick. Legally Blonde 1, 2, and 3.
You know,
Like,
you know what's a really good chick flick that Miss Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality. Yes.
Can't say the word,
Miss
but
Congeniality. God damn it.
I don't feel that now.
Miss Congeniality. Oh my gosh. No, I can't say it. But no, that's one of my favorites too. That one's good.
Such a good movie that she
The
did
Proposal.
when she's like the only thing that comes to mind is when she has like she's like doing the cheese on the bagel and like she gets feedback in her ear. She's like, ah! She like falls to the ground and she's undercover, so she's and everyone's like, what just happened? She's like, I forgot to pray. Ah!
The Proposal is one of my all-time favorites.
With Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a
yep.
very good movie.
I love that movie so much. What other? Of course, Moulin Rouge.
Oh, I can't stop. I'll never stop thinking about that one. One of the quotes that I think of all the time in my everyday life because I'm so obsessed is from that movie, which she asks him like a question like, "Oh, I didn't know you like you had a family that lived on a lake or something." And he's like, "Well, how'd you have time to ask? We've been talking about you for the last 100 years." You know, it's just like it was just so like all we do is talk about you.
All we do is talk about you.
And
How do you know anything about me?
Exactly. I'm so self-obsessed that like I'm that guy. Like I'm like, hey, you never told me you had a boat. And it's like, well,
Did you ever ask?
Yeah. And I'm just like, man, I gotta listen more.
Yes. Listen.
Listening. No,
eyebrow up, one down. Just looking crazy. What was the other one? Is it Pretty in Pink? The one that I'm thinking of? Yeah, I think it is Pretty in Pink that I'm like, you are Ducky. Like, you in high school, like, you remind me of Ducky.
Oh, what's all this? 16 Candles, right?
No.
No, but that's, sorry. Okay.
But it's Pretty in Pink with Ducky.
Okay, tell me about Ducky. Why? What?
Okay, so her best friend that is like goofy, always had like, yeah, it's you. There's a scene in that one that like he starts singing to a song and like he starts acting it out, and I'm like, why does this remind me of John? Seriously, like this is what
I wanted to put that on my Tinder back in the day. I was gonna be like, you, and then like the parentheses or whatever, comma, sings to your favorite song. Me dancing to your favorite song. Like, I try to get me not to move around.
Oh my god, have you seen Pretty in Pink?
I don't think so.
Okay, please watch it, because then I want you to watch that scene and you'll be like, now I know why Kelsey was talking about it. Like I get it.
That's why I thought of 16 Candles, because it's one that I just haven't watched. Never in its entirety. I've seen like a lot of clips of it, but never watched all of it.
Those two are so good.
Huh?
They're so good. They're so good.
Yeah.
You have to watch them.
I respect them as good cinema. I just haven't gotten to it, that one. You know, it's like I'm more nerdy sci-fi shit, you know. But
well, watch it.
I wrote it down. 16 Candles, they have like a friend who says like silly stuff, and like there was one thing that like some girl said like, you remind me of the friend, and I was like, oh yeah, and she was like, say this line, and so I started saying the line from the movie, but I didn't even know the movie. It was like, oh sexy girlfriend or something.
Oh my god.
He's like
but that's not even the friend though. That's like, okay, I can't say anything, but it's not even the friend. And I'm like, duh.
I haven't seen it, so I'm misrepresenting it.
Yes.
But yes, this is a movie that people have said like, you're the funny guy in that movie, you know.
Yeah, I could see that in 16 Candles. Yes, yeah, you are.
Thank you.
Yes. But you're also Ducky in in Pretty in Pink.
Dude, my sister the other day, it's like, have you seen the new Queer Eye for the Straight Guy? And I'm like, yes, Adri. Like all the time. I love it. Every season, every episode. No, and I was like, no, I haven't seen it. And she's like, and this was when I was like going through my depressive stage. Like I was really, really down. And she was like, well, I think you should give it a shot because all the gay guys there are always like so peppy, so excited.
They are.
So have you seen the new one on Netflix?
No, I have not seen the new season, but I have watched the seasons.
Oh, so you know it. Like
I know it. Oh yeah, I know it.
Do you know the black guy? That's all I can say. Sorry.
Yep.
My sister said, she's like, that's you. I watch it. I've seen so many episodes, and he says things that you would say. He acts the way you would act. He's interested in the same. He's like, and that was her way of getting me back on track. She was like, because I felt lost. I didn't know who I was. And so I was like, if you want to remember who you were, watch him. And watch it. And I watched a little bit of it. I tried a couple episodes. Obviously, it was really hard. It's not my thing. But I was picking up on what she was putting down. I think I was like, yeah. It's interesting to see how people perceive you,
Yep. That's why I'm like, you're Ducky.
I'll try. I promise I will.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We are on like a huge, like off topic tangent.
I was about to go way worse, so we can go back.
What were you about to do?
Oh no.
Oh no.
I was going to embarrass myself a little bit, but maybe even you. But yeah.
But no.
Did you say, okay, well, we can always edit it. Okay, we can always but, I'll never forget, because we're talking about movies and we're talking about how I don't like I'll sometimes talk like I know about a movie, as if I know about a movie, but I don't know what I'm talking about, Do you remember one time I was like texting you, I think, and I described you as like the girl next door?
Yes.
And you were like, hey, have you seen that movie? And I was like, well, no, but I think it means like you have this like really beautiful girl who like you almost like idolize. Like it's like you're just like, oh, I wish I could, hang out with her. And you're like, yeah, kind of. Except she's a porn star. And then I was like, oh, okay. Not like that. I was like, I did not know shit.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah,
This was the one time where I was like, yes, I knew about a movie that John didn't. Like
foot in mouth, just right there. And you're like, And you got to be this kid doesn't know.
Just called me a porn star.
as a compliment. As a compliment. Like, come on, right?
Okay, I could see it. I could see it.
And then you're just supposed to be like, thank you.
Thank you, I think.
Yeah, it's like, I'm so glad you corrected me,
I know, because
but yeah, like imagine if like I still haven't seen it.
Seriously?
One of the ones. How many things have I seen?
That's true. That's true.
A list of like, anyway.
Yeah, you sent me a list and I tried. I like.
You lie. You didn't watch.
I watched like 2.
Of which list? I sent you the good movies and I sent you the bad movies. Like,
I have to look back on which ones you sent me. I like picked 2 from them and I was like, I don't even know which ones these are. I like looked at I have to look again.
Were they the ones that had like the people talking over them?
No.
Okay, I sent you another list that's about that. It's like these guys watch bad movies and then they talk over the bad movies joking about it. And
yes, I did. That was the one I watched. Yeah, actually, yes.
So those are definitely harder to watch. That's more like
That's why I watched like 2.
That's the whole point. Is like the movie's so bad that it's funny. Like you have to learn how to appreciate the attempt.
Right.
Oh, I see what they were trying to go for, but
But they didn't do it.
Oh my
God, there was a movie that I watched. I think it was last year, and it was so bad. I don't remember what it was though. That was how bad it was. I don't even remember.
There's one on Netflix, and I think it's called This Is How It Ends or something like that.
That was terrible.
Dude.
It was so bad.
Jake and I we're watching the whole movie, and it's and Jake's pretty into cinema as well, I would say. We love to turn it off and then analyze it. And we're sitting there watching the whole movie, and you can tell we're not really enjoying it, but we're trying to. And then credits happen. And then we both get up and put our hands up, and we're like, what was that? What how was that the end? And yeah, it was
left you with so many questions, and it's also what was this about?
It honestly felt like a movie that was more a moving picture than a movie. There's no story, there's no context, there's no acting, there's no anything good that a movie would have. But there's a moving picture, and it's pretty.
But it's drawing.
Yeah, you get to look at a moving picture.
Oh God, there was another one.
Thanks for letting me rant about that, by the way.
There was another one that, oh God, what was it? I need to think about it. Alex and I ended it, and we're like, what did we seriously just waste 2 hours of our time watching this? What?
I want to know. Yeah, it's sometimes you really feel like I'm never gonna get those 2 hours back, man.
Oh, that's the end of that. Okay.
The funny bad movies that I sent you, and Jake and we watched all of them and we rated them all. There are some of them that are so bad that there's nothing to enjoy. It's that bad,
How do movies get that? How do they get money for that? I don't understand.
They're not all that. It's not always a production. Sometimes it's literally a high school project that some kid was oh, I'm gonna try to make a movie, and then it got thrown on the internet, and then got a title, and then it just picked up its own traction. And then there's movies that are so bad that's why they picked up traction, is that they're so bad.
It's just waste of time. There's so many that I was I'll ask Alex what movie that was, and if he even remembers, and then I'll send it to you, because it was so bad.
I hope. Yeah, I still like it, but you got to be in the mood.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you letting me go on through my cinema talk.
Of course.
I don't get to do that too often. So yeah, thank you, teacher.
You're welcome.
Which is a perfect segue to my teacher segue. I
listen a lot.
You listen a lot?
A lot.
Yeah.
Some of the kids are I'm are you, oh yeah. Uh-huh. I love them, but sometimes I'm did I really just listen to that for 15 minutes? I don't let them go that far though. That's okay.
Sure. Yeah, it's all a measure, it's okay, yes, I have this time to give you versus no, not today. Sorry.
Not today. Friday, I'm pretty sure at the end of so we have now been in school. What is today? We have now a full 2 weeks of in-person, and so all of September was hybrid. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we would be in person, and then Tuesday, Thursdays, we would be online. And so now we are going into week 3.
Every other day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now we are going into week 3 of in-person every day, all day. And this week they were just their energy level was out of here. And I think they were just exhausted to the point of they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to act and they didn't know how to just stop talking. It was I think they were excited, but they were exhausted. And then by Friday, I'm like, I'm done. I am done with all of this. And all the other teachers felt that way too. And it
Dude,
was a lot.
people talk all the time like of how they've like finally realized like how beneficial teachers are, not just like in teaching obviously, but just like taking your kids off of your hands every day.
Yeah. You're welcome, parents.
It's a big deal. It's a lot.
Because some of you need to be better parents.
No doubt. There's nowhere near like a good like, yeah, I don't get me started on that.
Oh my goodness. No, this group of kids, they are amazing. I have to say, like, for last year, my group of kids were amazing. This group of kids, 2 years in, and I have really good kids, which is, I'm lucky because not everyone gets that. So, but I will say, like, the 6 months that everyone was out of school, you can tell. You can definitely tell that they were not, there's only so much parents can do while they're also working, so I get that too, but whew, we are having to play a lot of catch up, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of extra work that we're having to do, because they should be at the second grade level, but they are probably like late first grade level.
You know, that doesn't surprise me, but but at the same time, it's still surprising to hear, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's still like a shock. It's still like, geez, yeah. And
Yeah.
we all know like it's like how if you don't try to hone your practice every day, you can really like get out of touch very quickly. And so obviously with your brain, like when you're in that active learning mindset, you kind of gotta strike while the iron's hot. You know, you can't do it whenever. And when essentially you had a 6-month cool down period and now you're trying to restrike it and it's not the same.
It's not the same. The kids, I mean, I've had a few breakdowns where they they didn't know what base 10 was. And that should they should have been learning that in first grade. And because of everything, like we had to go over it. Like we should have been on chapter 3 by now for math, but now we are just now getting chapter 2. So
Yeah, that's stressful. And then and then you really experience the whole like issue of like the class being a whole, because then you have kids who are struggling with the base 10 and you have kids who aren't, and
yeah,
you care about them equally, but it's like you're one person.
yeah, and I don't have a para this year. So at my old school, I had a para who was amazing. And so anything that I needed help with, or any of the students that were lower end, she could help me while I was helping. So the way that I do things is I break it up into, for math and literacy, we have 3 groups.
Okay.
Were you counting?
Huh?
Were you counting?
No, I have I kind of sometimes have to repeat what people say to in order just to hear it.
Okay. So a para is a paraprofessional, so she's just like an aide in the class. And so what I would do for math and literacy is I would have 3 different groups. So at one point there was always 3 to 4 kids with me one-on-one. And then there was another group, they were doing their own thing. And then there was another group that they were like doing a math game or whatever. And so this year, like I don't have someone to help me in the class. So last year, like she would go around to some of the kids that needed help while they were working on their own. This year, like I'm having to train the kids. No, you can't come up to me when I'm at the kidney table. Like I need to help this group, but you'll be with me in a minute, kind of thing. And so, but this group, I've noticed that like a lot of the kids, they need extra help. They need like almost they need me to hold their hand with it, which I think that's how it's going to be, because they had mom and dad right there, and mom and dad were helping them throughout the whole thing. So, which is amazing because some kids don't get that. But
you can't pretend like the dynamic hasn't changed.
Yeah.
You can't pretend as if like these kids didn't go through Corona and for a year of their life, essentially, or 6 months, whatever it is, they, yeah, they went there. They are now impaired because of this. Not that
Yeah.
they go up, but yeah, it's like, okay, we're starting at a lower level, you know?
Yep. We're starting out really, really low. And I mean, honestly, like the big thing for me, yes, the education and curriculum is important, but also, I'm sorry, but the social emotional part for these kids, that's huge.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that is something that like we've really been working on in my classroom. Um, and then slowly we've been getting into more and more curriculum, but like it's a lot. It's a lot.
Actually, nowadays you hear a lot about like how, yeah, like school didn't pay attention to the psychological side, so
Mhm.
like socializing and all that, and yeah, how many issues that's creating, it's like,
Yeah,
just, you do need to be taught
you
like
do. How to control your emotions, like that's huge. Um,
how to think
yeah,
with others. Yeah.
we go over in my class I go over like the zones of regulation. So they have, I'm looking over at it. It's green for they're feeling like really good, blue for sad or tired, yellow, um, they are, I can't see it. Yellow is like they're sick. Yeah, yellow is sick. Um, blue, yeah, blue is sad. Yellow is sick and tired. Orange is getting wiggly or frustrated, and then red is mad. Like they're just it's so mad. And so we go over that, and I help them. Like I tell them, like, okay, what is my tone of voice showing you? Like, how can you tell how I'm feeling? And they'll be able to tell me right away, like, you're orange, you're frustrated, or like you're red, you're upset with us right now, or you're green, like you're excited to learn. And so I've been going over that with them a lot. And we also have a kindness wall that they write kind notes to each other, and they have a different person each week that they'll write something nice to them. So it's
Yeah.
getting them to really think about like we also go over like what fills your bucket. So um and oh shoot, speaking of that, I was supposed to get things for that today. Oh well. I'll I'll do it the next week. It's a short week this week, and so that'll be nice. But yeah, so we go over like what are the things that you can do to fill someone else's bucket? What helps you? Like what fills your bucket when someone does something for you? So that is something that's been huge lately. And not, I mean, curriculums, it is important, but this age is, they need to be
There's
social.
a lot of emotional issues that are rising and bubbling up.
Yeah, there's a lot. And the first thing I asked them this year was like, are you guys nervous? Are you guys scared? Or is something, do you want to talk about it? And a lot of them, they weren't nervous or scared. They were excited to be back in the classroom, but then um they, I think more so kids were more nervous and scared when it was starting. I remember my class last year were very, when that week when we knew that like this was our last week all together, they were nervous and scared. And as a whole, I mean, I cried like that last day with my kids when we didn't know if it was going to be the last day. I
Yeah.
had so many questions of,
Yeah.
well, will we be
Uncertainty.
what?
Uncertainty.
Yeah, and so we had like 3 days, 3 days to prepare them and be like, this is it. This is our last time in the class. And I had a lot of students who asked me like, will we be coming back at all? And I just had to be honest. I said, honey, I'm honestly telling you, I don't know. And that's okay that we don't know.
Exactly.
Um, I remember when I was a elementary kid, and do you remember teachers where they just like they didn't talk to you about your feelings. They didn't tell you how they were feeling. They were just mean that day. Like they
Yeah.
wouldn't explain anything.
That's why there's the couple teachers that stand out, you know, there's the ones that did, but most of them I could not say reached out to me like that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And so that is something where for myself being a teacher now, I'm like, that is important. These kids, they need to know how you're feeling. And so like Friday, I just let them know. I was like, you guys, I just want to let you know, like today, I'm having a really rough day today.
Be
And
human.
I just want to, be
Yeah.
human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just let them know. And they're sweet. They're like, is it because we're too loud? It's because you're too loud today
So
and you're not listening. And so, but yeah, like last year when the shutdown happened, I think more students were scared then. I think now they're just excited. But I think they're scared, but not as it's not, I think it's just, they're just happy to be back
it's all
for as
about,
long as.
yeah, I think it's all about perspective because it's like if you were to say like you can't come back to school versus you get to go back home.
Yeah.
Like kids are gonna be like, oh yeah, I want to go back home, you know?
Yeah.
Versus like after Corona, if you were to say like you have to go back to school, kids might be like, you know.
A
So
lot of kids are like, I get to come back to school. Like they were so excited about it.
that's crazy to think of. That's,
I
I mean,
know.
I know a lot of kids love school as well. I was one of them who was different. But yeah, it's like, it's crazy. No joke. Just the other year, like last year, I was like, I just realized that people do enjoy reading books. I
Yeah, I love reading books.
never understood that. Like, it's like,
I
but
love it.
to me,
I
that's
go
what,
and buy a book every time I'm in a bookstore.
oh, it's adorable. Look at you. I'm
Look
gonna,
at me.
oh. um,
Like I know what book I'm gonna read over Thanksgiving break. Like I'm looking forward to that.
that's really cool. And I'm definitely jealous to a level, you know, it's like there's a level where I'm like, oh, I've never had that. I've never, that's cool, you know.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I think I've facilitated it other ways. But my point being is that, yeah, it's like I think those people who really, really can enjoy a book also
Mhm.
probably have something in similar to those who can really, really enjoy school, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
I
yeah.
mean, I'm a teacher and I enjoy school. Like I love to teach as much as it's frustrating at times and like right now very uncertain and we're not supported enough, but I love it. Like I couldn't I was actually thinking I was like during the shutdown I'm like, well, if school doesn't come back, what would I be good at?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what would I want to do that I would actually enjoy? And I'm like, I don't know. Other than working with animal, like, can I work at a pet store? Like, I don't know. But
That's
yeah,
interesting. My sister works at a vet too, so it's funny that you guys have that similarity.
right.
You know, it's
Like I would do that, but yeah, it's weird. It's
well,
very
you're responsible. That's good.
I'm look at me. I'm an adult.
I'm an adult. You're one of the responsible ones, and you're an older sibling, which is normally how it works because they say because it's crazy. There's this cool concept about like, and you got to experience it. I didn't technically, but when you're a kid, when you're a kid, you're young, you're little, you're a little baby,
Oh baby.
and when you get a sibling, you're no longer little. You
No.
instantly change.
You are the big brother or sister.
You're big,
Mhm.
and that's a mind fuck. That's
Mhm.
for kids to come. It's a complete change. Now instead of like let the mom take care of you and let mom do this for you, it's like you're a bad kid if you don't help mom. Mom,
Yeah, which is fucked up.
it's a tough thing for a kid to have to go through, but
Mhm.
it's also life. It also
Well,
teaches
like, it
it,
gets them ready for later on.
it teaches them responsibility. Where
Mhm.
people like me, and I could probably admit to this, like it's like I'm nowhere near as responsible as, like, for example, you.
So spoiled.
Yeah, I'm so focused on myself, and like I'm probably no, but like if I got like normally people like me when they get a kid, that's when you go from little to big.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I could see that. Yeah.
So yeah, just like saying, like, it's interesting you and my sister having this similar archetype, which is the personality of the older sibling, the one who had to be responsible or else was seen as like no longer doing a good job or something.
Right. Well, and it's funny because like, so I mean, Lacey's the middle child, but Lacey and I are 10 years apart.
Yeah.
So she it's weird because like I am the older and almost like the mom at times, but then she is also the older to Luke. Like what she says, Luke is like, yes, okay. Like
Yeah.
I will do that.
So many parents. Luke has you, Luke has Lacey, Luke has his mom. Yeah. Yes.
Right. And it's just like, but yeah, and so like it's funny because for me, I tell Luke, I'm like, hey, you're being an idiot right now. You need to grow up. And Lacey says it much more gently than I do. But and so Lacey's like the middle of like, well, I think that Luke just needs this. And I'm like, no, Luke needs this. Like,
That's again the child dynamic where it's like you had it forced on you, where Lacey was taken care of. Like she had years of an older sibling, like,
mhm,
Kelsey, will you go do it? And so Lacey just got the lunch, right? But she was
right.
also watching you and analyzing you. That way she got to do it a better way for Luke. Not
Yeah.
so aggressive, not so upset, not so trying to live my own life too. She was like, this is my life. I'm the middle child. And
Yeah. Luke is, and like, it's so funny because he is the typical, I'm telling you, like the typical, I love him, but he knows that I would say this too. He knows it right away. The typical idiot high school boy. Like,
good job, Luke. You're living it up.
living it up, buddy.
You're doing
Like,
it right. That's how you know you're doing it right. It's like you're in the moment. Appreciate that moment. That's my
well, at least he didn't get kicked out of high school. So,
You're not living it up enough. You got to keep going. No, no, no. Life is all about balance. Don't go too crazy.
no, but it's interesting watching, like, because, I mean, it's so funny because I was not the best in school, but at least I got through it.
You were not the best what were you bad at in school? Where you had bad who what?
I did not look at my grades as I need to get A pluses. Like I was a B average. Like
Oh, you were bad in school. You were B average. Oh, you did all the
C. I like got it so that I could swim. Like I passed all my classes so I
broke
could.
record swimming.
Yeah, but like I mean like academic wise. Like I was not like
I was considering the whole picture, the whole student. But
okay, so I was awesome.
since you weren't straight A's, I guess you weren't a great student. Okay.
I wasn't like amazing. I was pretty great though.
Okay.
Like as a whole.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Okay. So then like Lacey saw that and she was like, I'm gonna up that. I'm gonna get a 3.5.
Who
I was
had
like, okay.
like,
And Luke was like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna get a 2, like just perfect that I can like pass.
yeah.
I'm like, yes, buddy. There we go.
Pass, C's get degrees.
No, but it's interesting because Lacey is very on the like, hey, you need to do better with school. And I'm like, hey, you need to do better with life. Like you need to
Like both of you guys are saying that to Luke, or
yeah, like you need to think realistically. I'm the one who does that, and Lacey's like, hey, you need to think like smarter
my
in school.
that's how my sister sounds speaking to me. Like, not obviously she's not rude about it. I mean, it's all a mood, depends on how
I'm not
she's
rude. I'm just tough.
it's but it depends on the mood, we'll
The
say.
mood, the mood and the tone. Yes.
Yeah, tones. We learned about tones. But yeah, my sister also essentially like raised me. And yeah, she'll tell me things like what she say recently she said, like, do you think you have a better grip on reality now that yeah, as you're like older? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like thinking about it. I'm just like, it depends on what you want to say, but yeah, it's this level of like you had to have that 180. Link
Mm-hmm.
had to have that 180. Luke and I haven't had that 180 yet. We're just enjoying life. We're just like, nah.
Going with it.
And the last thing I'll say about it is men mature slower, you know?
This is true.
Yeah. So it's like,
This is very true. Yes.
so I bet Alex is a pretty close to being a child. That he borderlines every now and then, maybe.
He has his moments, and I'm like, can you rethink that, please?
You're like, hey, what year were you born? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, he's it's interesting too, because like, I mean, we've been together for almost 7 years. Like, we'll be together, it'll be 7 years next June. And
Congrats.
so I think it's
That's
been a long time.
and you guys have honestly made it look pretty good. I'll tell you that. I mean, I'm on the outside looking in, but it's like it's not an easy thing. So
No, it is not. Like, hold on, I'm gonna show you. Look at us. We're so cute.
you got numbers on your face, but yeah, you guys are a good couple. You guys are a good couple, though.
Yeah, like he's pretty great. I'll show you a better one.
There
There.
it is. There you go. Yeah, I love. Yeah.
Got a little family, We enjoy wine together.
He looks in that picture. He looks like he's like from the 70s or 80s or something. That looks
Oh
like.
my god. So when I had him take that photo with me, he's like, "Wow, I look like a young John Lennon." I was
Yeah,
like,
something
"You
like
do,
that.
you totally do."
I would get Beatles all the time. Beatles, or who I got? Jonas Brothers. Everyone was like, "You look like the Jonas Brothers" because of the hair. I'm like,
yeah, okay, I could see it. Yeah.
nowadays probably cooler. But anyway, go on. Sorry.
But no, he definitely, like, it's interesting because like we've grown up. I guess we've grown up kind of together, but we've definitely grown up together. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, when I first met you, like, didn't know if we would be this far down the road, but no, he makes it easy sometimes.
Nice.
Sometimes.
That's life. It's you gotta
I
take.
don't always make it easy, but
Yeah, you gotta look at both sides.
yeah, but no, he's pretty great.
That's why I recently have had the mentality of like, you have to go into everything in your life as if it's going to be the rest of your life. Because
Yeah.
either A, it will be. So like you meet someone and then you hit it off and now you're just together forever. Or B, it won't be. And then you just move on and you lost
And
nothing.
yeah, no, he's the one. He's stuck with me.
And dude, when you say those things, I believe you're reserved about that, So
Mm-hmm.
you say that's good. I really hope for you guys the best. May I ask about like any sort of like marriage or kids? The only reason I ask, I don't want to push because we are,
No, you're fine.
but all of our friends and all that stuff, So
Yeah. So marriage, I mean, like, you already know I'm not religious at all, and so neither is he, which is amazing because we don't have to, deal with all of that.
yeah.
But I mean, if we are already we already say we're married. Like we're so committed that that like that's it. Like there's no one else. And so yes, marriage is definitely, we've talked a lot about it. It's in the future. Right now we are just with this move and everything. We moved to a whole new state together, whole new state, whole new city. If that's not committed, like, we have joint accounts, like we're basically married already. We just don't have the paperwork.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of like, if you guys are going to be married, which is forever, then what's the rush?
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, marriage is definitely, it's in there. It'll be very, we've already talked about it. Like it'll be in the middle of the woods somewhere. It'll be outside when we do, but it won't be like a ceremony. It'll be like, a celebration with friends. It'll be a party. Like we'll have like an outside party, and yeah, people bring their camps and we'll go camping, and it'll be sort of like that. So
Those traditions are really dying,
mhm.
It's not becoming, it's really no longer the norm. The norm is really almost doing what you want to do. So no,
I would love for us to go to like a national park and elope and just get those pictures together and it be more about us than anyone else kind of thing. But with mom and Nana,
you gotta do both.
they gotta do, there has to be some sort of both. So,
Because we want to experience that with you too. We want to see you guys in love. That's amazing.
yeah, so there's that too. Yeah. And so and I know his mom wants something too. I know it.
I want to cut you off. I gotta use the restroom. Do you want to end right now, or do you want to just give me like a 1 second? Like,
Yeah, that's fine. I'll give you 1 second because I need to check some emails anyways.
Okay, and I can edit it out if it needs to be, whatever, or not. And now I'm just walking away like this.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I hope you don't edit that.
Okay, thank you for waiting.
Of course.
My knee. Oh, my knee. Um, I was.
Um,
I know exactly what I was gonna ask you before I needed my break.
yeah.
Does he have siblings? Like his
He
family?
has a sister, yes. So he has a younger sister. Um, so it's interesting because like him and his sister are very different, like very, very different,
Yeah.
but also similar. It's weird. It's this weird. They are about, let's see, she's 20, so they're 6 years apart, or
Okay.
7. 6, yeah. And so she is a sophomore in college too. She's the same age as Lace, actually.
Oh, okay.
Is Lacey gonna be? Yeah, Lacey will be 20.
I know, right? That's crazy to think of.
Whoa, I just,
You just
whoa, it's weird.
we recorded you adding it up. Like, Tony,
Oh, that was weird.
it was like, oh my god. Yeah.
So she's gonna be 20, and his sister is 20, and so yeah, so it's interesting, just like his parents, when they had him, they were actually our age. So his dad was already had at our age already had, I think, almost a 2-year-old. So and like his mom is a year older or 2 years older than his dad, and I'm a year older than Alex. And so, but he grew up with his parents who, like, at first, like, they were pretty poor at first. And so then his dad, they met in college and went through college together, and then his dad got a job at Cafe Imports, and so he's like a co-owner of a whole coffee importing, um and so he, like, they're good, like they're good now. So he grew up with things being pretty tight, and he, like, remembers all of that, but then his sister does not. So they're different on how they look at money wise. And it's just interesting to see how they come from the same house, the same background, everything, but they're different. Like, they're like Luke, Lacey, and I all have the same mindset for all of that, which, and so Luke now has a girlfriend, though, so he wants to, like, buy her fancy things, and I'm like, Luke, don't you ever pay $75 for a pair of leggings, you dumbass. Like,
Did he do that?
yes, he
Oh
did.
my gosh.
And I was like, I get mine from Old Navy, and they are 18, and they last for years. And he's like, yeah, well, they're Lululemon. I was like, it doesn't matter about the brand, like, you dummy.
Lululemon.
Oh my gosh. So yeah. But no, but what I love about Alex's family is that they're very close.
Very close.
They are very close, and they have a lot of traditions, which, like, with mine, I don't feel like we really have a lot of traditions anymore. Um, and so I was welcomed into Alex's family traditions, and I love everything that they do. And so I love going and just being with them. Like,
Tell me,
there's hmm?
tell me like a tradition. Like, tell me one.
So every Christmas they go to a play. And um last year, what was the play last year? Shoot. It was a different one. The year before we went to um what is that one? Ebenezer Scrooge.
No, not Nightmare. Christmas Carol.
Yes, the Christmas Carol. So we did that one. I think we weren't able to get to the Nutcracker, but we do. Yeah. So there's that. They go to their grandma's for Thanksgiving, um, this year, and then they always watch Christmas movies. We, like, go get the tree, set up the whole tree together. It's just, those are the things that I miss, and so we all do that together, and it's just amazing. I don't know. We have, like, they let me start on my own tradition where I'm making cinnamon rolls with them every Christmas morning. And getting better at making cinnamon rolls.
We get to practice on them.
Yeah.
Technique.
Yeah. So pretty soon they're gonna be perfect. But no, they're amazing. I love them.
I'm
So
glad. That's good to hear.
yeah.
You know, sometimes you hear the opposite with family like that. And yeah, it's like you enjoy the individual, but then they're embarrassed about their family, or you're embarrassed about their family, or your
I'm
family.
embarrassed about my family sometimes. Like,
I don't blame you. Nah, they're great. Nah.
but no, like, I mean, like Alex's dad helped me get my car. So if anything, like those are the things that like I'm part of the family and they let me, I feel it too. So
Yeah, when you have a family with open arms, when you have a family that's willing to take you in as their own and say, we're going to help you the same way we would help our own daughter,
yeah.
treat things like it's going to be the rest of your life because it either will or won't be.
Yeah. And it definitely, yeah, it will be. So knock on, I don't have wood. So thank you. Oh, you asked about kids. And so like, yeah, kids are in the future. Definitely.
You want to be a
So,
mama?
yeah.
So you have like like a, a a goal or like a ideal amount?
One.
Both of you guys or just you? Do you both want just
Oh, we both want one. I was like, I don't think he can
one
have
each, or
No, we want one.
my son, that's your daughter. Now, don't.
No, yeah, we want one. One and done. And that will be for sure.
I was watching, and yes, I can admit it. I was watching a podcast with Hillary Duff the other day.
Oh
Ooh.
my gosh.
And she was talking about having kids, and that's really the whole point of the podcast. It was like, oh my gosh, she's a normal person. It's like totally
The
living.
most normal out of all the Disney characters.
She was a pleasure to listen to. She's
amazing.
She's amazing. Yeah, I agree. But it was funny because she was talking about she went to a soccer game for her kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the
For
other,
Lucas.
huh?
Her son Lucas.
Luca.
I said Luca first.
Oh, okay. I missed it. Anyway, the family, so they're watching the game, and there's another mom there who's like on the team against them and has like made like a glitter sign that's like that is so big that needs to be held by 5 bodies. 5 different people have to hold this sign.
Over the top.
And like and Hillary Duff says like, she's like, that is just so aggressive. Like just
it is. It's so aggressive. That's like
kids game.
It's
and where does this go? She she jokes about how like they're getting stomped anyway. So it's like, put the sign down. You're already destroying us anyway, But I remember her saying like she was thinking in her own head about the other mom, like, how do you have that much time? Oh, must be your first kid. Like and that was to me the funniest thing is watching her. Oh, you only have a kid? Yeah.
That makes sense.
You think you know what it's like to not have time. You think you know.
Yeah. Yeah. We want one. And I think one is plenty. Like that is good. Yeah. So yeah, it's weird because like, I don't know. We both, when we first started dating, and we both were like, we don't want kids. Great. Like, we don't want kids. We just want dogs. And we got our 2 dogs. We have a cat who's more like a pillow. He's a pillow. Yeah. we've had him for like 4 years. So, but no, it's weird. Like all of a sudden we're like, huh, kids. Yeah. Yeah, I want that, and does it just our age? I don't know. It's odd though.
It seems like you guys have really been, and the way I say it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's like having your finger to the pulse, like, and I believe there's a pulse to like living, to life, to, there's a flow that you got to go. And if you're resisting, if you fight everyone, like your life just ends up getting worse.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are just connected to the pulse. You guys seem aware of the pulse, and you felt a pulse, and you were like, I think it's time for kids. So
it's weird.
Yeah, that's good. You know, not everything needs to have some like anytime you see someone with a tattoo, it's like, ooh, tell me about your tattoo. Tell me all the history. And it's like not everything
We
needs
don't
some
need to know all of it.
deep meaning. You know, it's like sometimes
Yeah.
it just felt like
Sometimes you just feel it.
yeah. And it's like, oh, but what if it was a mistake? Well, I've made plenty of those. Like
Maybe I'm still alive. Like,
yeah, exactly. What are you gonna do? But no,
yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate though. You know, I being your friend, I feel like I get to
Yes.
get to do this. Are you worried about him becoming a little shit though? Having one kid, that's always what you hear, the single child.
Like I don't think so. That I think that we I think when we're parents, I think that I am being a teacher and being who I am. I think that I will like instill, hey, you better have manners. Like, like you will be a nice kid and you will be a sweet kid. And Alex will have that fun. I mean, Alex is if that kid ever asks any random question, like, how does, oh, please don't. Sorry, I have windows and
Yeah.
sorry, tangent. I have windows and every now and then a bird will just fly into the window.
Yeah.
And so a bird just like came up and looked at it and I was like, oh, and every now and then I hear the clunk. I'm like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Um,
I still
but
got
he
one.
didn't watch that, but it's fine. It's fine. But so like I will be more of the disciplinarian, Alex is the like I'll have fun for sure and he will too, but he's the like random fun. Like I'm gonna go buy a bow and arrow and learn how to shoot a bow fun. And if the kid ever has like a question about anything, like he is so incredibly smart and just knows. And
Yeah.
so that's one thing where I honestly I'm not worried about that at all. If it just shows anything with raising two dogs with him, like we have some pretty amazing. Kale's a little shit. Let me just say, like he is a little shit at times,
Hey,
but
Alex?
it's his no Kale, the dog.
Oh, okay.
But like but it's also his breed, so that just makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But like, if anything, like it just shows that like we're very calm, caring. Like we're not loud people. I don't know. I think the kid he'll turn up all right.
Most kids, most people do not go through childhood unscathed. Most of them have trauma or issues or whatever, but some of them do.
Yeah.
Some of them have the perfect house, perfect environment, perfect everything, and it's
That
just
like,
what? Who?
huh?
Tell me one. Tell me one.
Who is it?
I work at a school. I'll tell you that's not true. They're all messed up.
They're
No,
all messed up.
yeah. But that's the thing is that some of them really do come out like fine. Most of
Yeah.
them, some of
Some
them,
turn into serial killers.
exactly. There's
And that's just
spectrum.
there's no stopping that. That's just in them.
We've been Jake and I. We my roommate Jake. Um, we like to analyze a lot. We're very analytical people, and so we'll analyze each other slash ourselves because we're very similar in our mindset, but we know our past and upbringing and history very different. So it's like, why do we think the same yet we shouldn't?
Very different.
You
Yeah.
know?
That's
And
how Alex and I are. Our upbringing is very, very different.
yeah,
Like night and day.
yeah, and I attribute it to him almost getting out unscathed, where it's like he had a good childhood, he had a good family. I love hanging out with his family. Like his family's so nice. So like you have those people who have a much cleaner garden. That's the way I say it. Like
I like that.
you tend to your garden, and some people don't tend to their garden. Um,
Nope.
so yeah, it's like their garden is very nice. And so he got to grow up in a very clean garden. And so he got to explore in a safe environment where I
Yeah.
got to explore in a different type of environment. So we both got like
Yeah.
same amount of exploring done, but just in a different way. And so that's why we kind of feel like we're similar. It's like we're both
Yeah,
explore, but just different environments.
I get that. I like that. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, when I like think about my kids, I like some of them have right off the bat who is a single child. You just know. And that's one thing too where I'm like, if you're a single child, oh my gosh. Like I need to when I am a mother, I will be stepping up my game
Yeah.
and like yeah, sure, of course like of course everyone wants to spoil their kid, but they're spoiled to a point.
Yes.
Like yeah.
Dude, I remember one time, I'm gonna make fun of myself. I said something so stupid. I was working at Target at the time, and
When did you work at Target
when I was living in Washington.
and you didn't tell me that you were working at Target? Do you know how many times they would have like
You can't use me. I I'm
John,
for
you
this.
who didn't help out a friend?
What was the shout outs, bro?
What?
Target was actually one of the best experiences in work that I've had.
I've heard that working for Target is awesome.
It was really awesome because I worked at the smallest Target in like the United States.
That's really nice.
So it was very tight knit, very,
That's
you didn't have like, you know how like a lot of times like you have like one guy who only does electronics and then
yeah,
doesn't know anything else.
yeah.
No one in the entire store was like that. Everyone had to know the entire store.
That's nice. That's the way that a work environment should be.
And yeah, so and then it creates people to intermingle, you know,
Yeah.
you're each other out, and so it was a really good experience. Um, I was working at Target, and one time I'm working the self checkout, just like I'm out front,
Yeah.
and kids constantly start crying in the store, and then they're getting yanked out by their parents, but like I would sometimes see like kids who weren't acting up and were just asking for like a toy, and then the dad or the mom was like being a piece of crap,
Yeah.
and obviously there's
There's
stuff.
more to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's like that's it. But I did walk away, and I remember I told Emily, I was dating her at the time. Told her I was like, yeah, I think I'll buy my child a toy every time I take them to Target. That way they don't cry or bitch or anything like that. It's like I'll give them a $1 toy, and then there we go. But yeah, she just looks at me and is like, what? like it's like that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. Ever. Worst idea.
I'm just gonna give in to my child. I'm just gonna let them run the ship.
You're just gonna let them walk all over you.
Yeah.
Until they're 16.
Control. I'm just the parent,
I'm just
right?
a parent. I have no control over this.
You can definitely tell that she's an older sibling and I'm a younger sibling.
Yep.
I learned from that. I now like hear myself say it, and I'm like, that was genius.
That was dumb. That was dumb. It was the dumbest idea ever.
No joke. Yeah, I have pictured like my future kids like room just cluttered with crap, and I'm like, yep. That's my fault.
Hey honey, can you please clean up your room? Fuck you, man.
Okay, bye. Okay, I don't want to disturb you. All right.
You'll be like the mom from Mean Girls. Do you guys need anything?
Totally giving into it, yeah. And
totally giving into it. Of course you can have our master bedroom. That's not a problem. No. Yeah.
Those parents are out there.
I know. That's the scary part. Yeah, no, I am excited for when we become parents. I think it's an odd like thought that's in the future now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for when that happens. I mean, I already know if we have a girl, oh my God, it doesn't matter if it's a girl or boy, he's gonna spoil it rotten. Like it's just gonna happen. But he also will, he's also a very like, no, you need to have manners. Like he was a preschool teacher for a while, so he went through that. Like he knows how a kid needs.
Good.
Yeah. So it's nice too. So
Dude, that's so relieving. I'm so happy for you. That's so good.
thanks.
And like I said, like keeping your finger on the pulse, it's like feeling it out, figuring out when the right time is. And I think that's why you guys have been doing so well. Is just
Yeah.
you guys aren't making it all about, oh, but I wanted this and I don't want that. It's just kind of like, hey, this is what we're doing. Now what?
Yeah. Like I have friends who, I mean, I have a few friends who've gotten engaged and I know people who've gotten engaged and like they've been like, hi, no worries. And they've been like, well, if it doesn't happen in the next year, like I'm not gonna stay. And it's like, well, that's no way to be with somebody. Like
what a weird way to base the quality of your relationship.
Yeah, and I actually like I hear from not just like, and I don't have any friends like that, but I'm just like I've heard from other people that that's how their friends, and I'm like, whoa, that's weird. Why would you? I wouldn't want to be in that relationship at all. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny what like suits us, It's
Mhm.
like, nope, this person's not for me if they're not willing to do that for me or something. And
Yeah, it's like, well, why is it only about you? What about them? Like, what if they're not ready?
that's the thing. But the moment you put any logic into it, you're already not talking the same
Yep.
like they're speaking a language of emotion. They're
Yep.
speaking a language of like, I don't feel right with them, and unless something changes, this feeling's not going to go away and I can't do it. So
Yeah.
when you go into a logical sense of like, yeah, but maybe it's not them, maybe it's you. They're like, no, it's not that.
No, of course it's not me.
What
Like, yeah.
you talking
No.
about?
What you talking about? No, it's odd though. I'm like we've never had any ultimatums like that. That's just not how. I don't know. It's just
That's not
weird.
gonna bring anything good like 9 times out of 10.
No, like why would you ever do that? So
If,
yeah, no, yeah,
if
he's a good one.
I feel like if you can't communicate to the point like before it gets to ultimatums, it's like, okay, we're
You
messing.
have a bigger problem. Like yeah, like there's bigger things than.
Yeah, it sucks that we had to get to ultimatums, but now we should realize that we're here. It's like this is needs to be addressed.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm still trying to figure it out though. I still think, but at the same time, do you think? So I remember when Em and I were together for like around 7 years,
Hmm.
and people would ask me advice, about relationships. And like I would say what I knew, but honestly, now that I look back at it, I didn't know anything, you know? So
I
it's
mean,
like
yes,
I,
though.
I try, but anyway, do you think you might know something about relationships that others might not? Is there a reason you think you might be good at relationships, or you and Alex or is it more just like you found the right guy at the
I
right
think
time?
so. I think it all depends on who you're with too. Like I think that I mean, if I was with someone else, I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Let me rephrase that. I didn't even think about that. I think that it depends on the relationship because not all of them are the same. And sure, you can take advice from friends, but I feel like,
I mean, it applies.
yeah, yeah. And like for Alex and I, if there's anything going on with us, like we talk to each other. We don't go to friends. We talk with each other about it. Um, and like oh, bird, no.
Oh, I heard it. I heard it from here. Oh no.
No.
Dang. That does
Oh man. But yeah, like no, I mean, of course, like I'll go to my girlfriend sometimes and ask them, but it's never like big stuff. It's like, like, "Oh, I didn't put the dishes away again," or, like little things like that.
Sure, yeah.
Um, but it's never like, I don't feel like it's big stuff. Um, but most of the time, like we'll talk to each other about an issue. I just think, I don't know, communicate a lot.
Yeah,
And
often communication.
yeah, and show that person that you love them. Like, I don't know, that's one thing where I feel like if you don't show them that they are loved and appreciated, they're gonna have some serious doubts and not feel good about themselves in the relationship too. So
That will manifest itself in a lot of other ways, you know.
yeah, yeah.
I
Like
get
even the smallest thing, like just hold their hand or give them a, like a kiss on the cheek. I mean, like Alex he always comes up and gives me a hug, like all the time. Doesn't matter. And like the same with me. Like it just, and I've seen other relationships where they don't do that, and I don't know. It's just weird.
yeah. Yeah, you definitely, I mean, sure, some people don't like to show affection, but I'd say
Yeah.
most people within the relationship want to be shown affection the same way
Mhm.
you showed affection when you were a kid by your parents who were like, "Oh, I love you. You're the most amazing."
Yeah.
And it's just like you just want that, you
You
know?
just want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you show a dog more affection, like something's wrong.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can see the dogs get jealous too when it comes to affection. So it's like it's there. You have to,
There-
but you do have to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like of course, I don't know. I don't know if I would. So like Alice and I one time we were like, well, because someone was talking about going to like marriage counseling, someone that we knew, and I was like, I don't think I'd want to do that. I don't feel like that would be us. Like that wouldn't be what. I mean, sure, that might work for other couples, but I don't think that would work for us. I think that we would be more. We need to talk it out with ourselves than go and have someone else tell us how to think and feel and how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
So
When it comes to therapists, you do have to like popcorn around and find the one that works with you. Because yeah, not everyone agrees on everything. So but yeah, it's really cool to think that you guys have that good of a relationship, you
yeah,
know.
I mean, sure, it's not perfect. Like, of course, it's not perfect, but it's pretty great.
I think yeah, so the most important thing is always having that open, clear line of communication.
Hmm.
A clear line of communication. It can't just be, I heard you say something. Are we done? You know?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
No. And he'll be like, "You okay? Did you drink enough water today? Because you seem a little off."
that's adorable.
I'm like, "No, you're right. I am dehydrated. That's why I'm being a bitch."
Exactly. It's like you caught me, you
You
know?
got me. Like you got me.
We're not all on our best all the time. And that's the most important thing. I think I would get a little judgmental. I'm like,
Mhm.
why are we on our why are we? It's like every day you should put on that best face. And it's like, yeah, but some days
Always be happy. No,
you can't, you know.
sometimes you're not gonna be happy, and sometimes it's okay. Like, yeah,
If you were to hold that against your partner that day that they weren't happy or the day you weren't happy, it's just like that is a very bad relationship.
that's a big red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Open,
definitely.
open, clear communication, and I am gonna compare it to me living with Jake because there is definitely a relationship there.
Oh, for sure.
But we I'd say we were both really into psychology.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the main reasons him and I also have that open level of communication where everything is just like an idea that you can throw out on the table and
Yeah.
no idea is, I mean, that could be a bad idea, but you don't get ashamed for it. You just go, well, that was dumb.
Yeah. Well, that was dumb. That was stupid.
Like maybe you don't do that again, you know. But But versus like I grew up in places where it was like, why would you do that? Why would you even think like that? Who
Yep.
head, you know? And it's just like, and then you're like, oh man, what's wrong with me? So you gotta have
Exactly.
open.
Yeah. Yeah. Like something is definitely wrong with me. Like,
Yeah,
no, it's you. Like you're just
you had a bad thought or a bad day or a bad anything. Like,
that's human. It's okay.
or it was literally nothing. Or it was them, you know? They interpreted it wrong. Like
Right? Like you said it right. It was just the way that they thought about it in their head.
I won't take
Yeah.
that to them. But yeah, so I think that's one of the cool things about like him and I, why we get along really well. We're both analytical people, like therapists are. Um, and yeah, it's like, do you get the idea? I know you do, but I'm just saying it this way. Do you get the idea of brainstorming?
Like
Oh, you don't. Oh my gosh. Not joking.
like explain that. What exactly do you mean?
Brainstorm, like when you get like 4 or 5 people around on a table and they say, all right, let's all come up with some ideas, like some TV ideas or some movie ideas or something. And then so they say, let's brainstorm together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not everyone can do that.
No.
And
No.
I've kind of learned that the hard way. Like, I mean, the hard way, but yeah, it's like I've gotten frustrated with people where it's like, why
Why aren't you thinking this way? Why can't you think like this?
why can't we communicate? You know,
Yep.
where
I have been living with roommates. So when we moved, we couldn't get into our apartment until like 27 days from now.
right.
But we moved in with one of Alex's high school friends and her fiance and then their roommate. So 5 people and 4 dogs under one roof.
Woo,
There's a lot of different personalities. There's a lot of different ways of living
that is
that
really hard to harmonize.
yeah. And Alex and I have been living together, just the two of us, for 4.5 years. Almost 5. Yeah, 4.5 years. So like we have a certain that like we live the way that we live. And they have been living a different way. And so like that's nothing's wrong with it. But when coming together, it's very hard to yeah.
Yeah,
There's been definitely some like there have been some clashes for sure. But no one like we're all still friends. Like we all it's interesting because it's like, well, I didn't like that way that you did that. So can we talk about it? And it kind of hasn't I don't know, it's there's not a lot of communication.
yeah, yeah, and some houses are like that. It's like, and sometimes they're not ready to communicate. So it's like, no matter how perfect your communication is, it's just they're not listening. You
They're
know.
not yeah. It's, and they're amazing. Like they really are. Like we would not be able to be doing what we're doing now without them. And we appreciate all of that. It's just we knew all of us knew right away, like, I don't think this is gonna work for very long. Yeah.
And you finger to the pulse. You're feeling it out. You're going,
Yep.
hey, this doesn't. This feels weird. The
Yep. It feels weird. Sometimes it feels forced, which is normal. Like not everyone is a people person 24/7. And so yeah, it's
I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. Synchronizing the people and trying to, yeah, the quality of life. The quality
mm-hmm.
of life, like I mentioned earlier, it gets so you get used to it so very quickly.
Yeah.
But that's when it's a step up. When you take a step down in your quality of life, you do not get used to that very quickly.
No.
You
No.
bite and you bite and you resist, you
And
know?
you get frustrated much easier and
Yeah.
yeah.
Your
Yeah.
your brain capacity is being taken up with this rage because you're like, I used to have it this way and now I'm dealing with this. But like really it's like acceptance. It all comes down to like just accepting what's happening to you right now. It's not going to be forever. It's a temporary.
It'll be fine. Like it's fine.
Are you
Just take
fine?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Like
fine.
you're fine.
Sucks.
What?
It might suck, but yeah, but you're fine.
A little bit, and it might be stressful, but yeah, like it's fine. Like it's not gonna be. Yeah. I don't know.
That's something I've heard is like people like, oh, how can I be happier in life? Like, what's the trick? And it's just like manage expectations. Like,
There's
don't.
no trick. You just like take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Like
Don't
find what makes you relaxed, and then continue doing that.
For me as well, it's like obviously I know the world's not perfect, but I always tend to have this idea where it's gonna be a perfect day for me. Like everything's gonna go perfect for me though. Like you know, the dishes are gonna
for you. It's gonna be
yeah,
perfect for me.
for me. You know, it's like you'll so yeah, just learning how to like when my day isn't perfect, I'm not gonna react to it because
Right?
that's stupid to think like, well, I didn't have a perfect day. Just
It's like a waste of time, because it's like, yeah, but you were alive. Like you lived, like you are alive right now. Like you are living your day.
you can learn, you can appreciate this moment, but it's all in your head. Dude,
Yeah.
I for the first time woke up the other day happy to be alive. Like I've never like woke up and like I'm literally happy to be alive. This is a great day. I cannot wait to do today. So that felt good.
Good.
But yesterday I almost got in a car accident, and that also makes you happy to be alive because you're like, okay, but it sucks because it's like, and Jake was in the car and he commented, he's like, yeah, no matter how good of a driver you are, still someone else can just come over and blindside.
Yep.
And it was just one of those simple, like, we're both making a left turn and they decide to go into my lane during. And
Oh my gosh.
I'm like driving and I'm pat on my back, I consider myself a pretty good driver. And yeah, I saw it happening and I was like, and I have a stick shift. So I'm like trying to figure out like, do I want to go super low and brake and back up? Or do I want to go like into a lower gear so I can speed up, you know? And
Yeah.
so you see my car like, and the car's still going. And so I just take off essentially and dodge out of the way. And luckily we're good. But yeah, it was one of those like, and I really feel like I stayed calm. Like I was like, all right, we're good. You know, I'm not gonna, people make mistakes. I'm not gonna get upset.
Yeah.
But I definitely walked away, drove away with my knees weak, you know, like my legs just weak, like my heart like shallow. And all the cars were then like really like slowing down. Like they all saw what just happened.
They all knew what was happening. Yeah. See, that's good. Oh my gosh.
This was last
This is what?
night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wait, I had like, so last year I had a Jeep, and no, it wasn't last year. It was our first winter that we were up north, up in Grand Marais, up in Minnesota. And so I bought a Jeep before we moved up there. Originally I had a little VW Bug. And
oh my god, VW Bug and a Jeep, you're the coolest.
And now I have a Subaru and I love it.
That is really cool. Dang it. Stop living it.
Right. And so the Jeep, so our old place, to get to it, you had to go like up a hill to get to it. It was around a cliff that had a waterfall on the other side. So like coming down it, so going up it, you had the waterfall was on this side, the hill was on this side. So if you were fine on this side, but if like, so coming up it, it was fine. Going down it, in the wintertime, now mind you, also all the trees were like over, so it was shaded all the time. Like no sun got to it really.
Yeah.
So in the wintertime, it would ice over. and then snow, and then ice over, and then snow. So always ice is underneath. So I was coming down it, and I in my Jeep, and I didn't have my snow tires on yet because I didn't think I needed them right then. And I put it in four low, or where it was in four low, so it was should have been fine, but it hit just perfectly. I was only going 20 miles an hour, so like not even fast. It hit perfectly a patch of ice and started spinning down the hill, and it was like going towards the cliff, and it stopped, luckily, like, but I was sideways going down the hill, and I had to just stop for a minute and just not, I turned the car off completely, and I actually got out of the car and just like took a deep breath. But oh my God, it's like those moments where you're like, whoa, like this could have ended terribly. Like I almost died right there. Like I would have been gone, because there's no way, unless I hit like the perfect amount of packed snow, because the plow would move it up. But I mean, right next to it was like the drop.
You would have officially rolled the dice at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
probably would have tried to jump out of the car, to be honest, like if I could.
Capitate yourself in the I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank God you're here. Thank God you're all right. Oh my gosh, that is
Right.
There goes my deer story. Oh, I almost saw a deer. And you're like, yeah, I tumbled down a mountain. Well, the deer was pretty crazy. No.
Yeah. So that's like living with snow. That is like an everyday, at least and that was one thing too. It wasn't like a paved path. It was dirt. So originally, like, that road is dirt. So
To me, that's like even scarier. It's like no one's there. Like
and I didn't have service.
You're gonna be stuck there for how long?
Exactly. So like, yeah.
Lucked out, girl. Lucked out. I recently had a brush with death. Not even this accident. Like the accident was just like, it would have been probably a minor accident if last night's happened. But my recent brush with death was a 100% you would be dead, and you missed it by the skin of your teeth. You missed it by a hair of a second.
What did you do?
It wasn't even me. That's what makes it so bad. And he's probably watching right now. So yes, I'm talking. Anyway, my friend, who will be unnamed for now, has like a fast car, right? And one night we were living a little too fast and young over in the mountains, and the night was over. Like, and it wasn't even the craziest night or anything, but we were like done, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We're on our way home, which is like an hour and a half, and we're kind of rushing, and it's pitch black at night, and he wants to overtake a semi.
No.
Semi and 3 cars behind the semi. And it's uphill.
Where you might have a car come towards you.
And you don't know what's happening. Yeah, like when you're going uphill and there could be literally
How long ago was this?
Less than 2 months, probably.
Oh, okay. I was like, was this in high school?
No, very recent.
Oh my God.
Funny enough. Anyway, not only was it over a hill, so yeah, you couldn't see if there was like another car coming, but it was over a hill that had a bend. So it's like,
John, I highly recommend you look into Smarter Friends.
We've talked since, because I told him, I was like, dude, like, I love to live fast and young, but I'll be honest with you, that scared me. That was too much for me, because yes, we made it, obviously. Both of us were very scared with how close the other car was, just right. Like, if he didn't, dude, we said this, the first thing I said, I was like, dude, if you would have hesitated even a second, like, oh, can I overtake? We'd be dead.
Yeah.
We'd be dead 100% for sure. And like, even right now thinking about it, like my heart pounds a little bit because it was that close. But yeah, that was, I'll never forget like being in the car, like, okay, I can't do this. I got to do more, you know.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say, my transition from that is it's funny how humans like death. We do.
Oh, they do as much as they can to get almost to it. And it's like, why in the world would you do that?
The moment you are actually met with death, the moment like death opens the door, you're oh, like I want to be alive.
I was just kidding.
JK lols.
Like, I got you. Got you, buddy.
Yeah. Funny how humans constantly like try to tease death, but the moment death answers, you're like, my bad.
I don't want that actually. Just kidding.
But I also have like a really, really, really like stupid theory that I like to say. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ready? Okay.
Okay.
It's not that I like necessarily believe in this. It's a fun thing to think of, you know.
Okay.
It's one of those things where it's like you can't prove me wrong, so you know, we know death is a thing. We're just talking about it.
Yeah.
We've never experienced it.
No.
Neither of us died, obviously.
Obviously.
So the question becomes, how do you know you haven't died? And every time you have died, well, actually, I should have started this with one thing. Do you believe in parallel universes? Do you believe in like multiple dimensions, essentially? Like they say, like there's an infinite amount of like parallel universes, right? Like string theory, you know? It's okay if you don't. We're not like, I'm not trying to convince.
So, like, if I think so. Like, I think there's another version of me if I chose not to come to Minnesota. Probably. Like, there's definitely.
There's another version. Essentially, there's another version of you that just decided to wear a different colored jacket. You know, it's like it's not always a crazy thing. But for example, when you have a life-changing moment where there's one of me that, so the idea becomes, let's
one
say
of you died. Like, there's like in that moment, like there's one that died.
there's one less now,
Yeah.
right? But let's say that one less, let's say that one that did die was the one that I was living currently, like the one you're talking to, right?
Okay.
What would happen is that my consciousness would then jump to one that didn't die. So to me, I wouldn't have died. I would have gone, whoa, that was close. Even though that John A is dead. Now I'm John E. And now he is living a life where John A didn't die. So every single time in your life that you have ever come close to death, you did die. You just don't know it. And you jump to a different consciousness that didn't die.
But do you think that maybe the one that didn't die has some sort of idea about the other one, because then you think about going about things differently? Maybe that's just me.
I'm just processing what you're saying, and it's a fun thought. I feel like if you already were in the practice, you know, like it's one of those things like you can't go to church after you're dead, you know. So
that's true.
So it's like beforehand, you probably wouldn't have known what was going on, but after, maybe. But yeah, it's not. I'm not saying I necessarily believe it in it or don't. It's just a fun thought to think of, where it's like the idea becomes, you, Kelsey, you're gonna be on this life, on this earth for 100 years exactly, and no matter what happens to you during those 100 years, you're just gonna keep skipping lives until you get to the 100, you know. But you'll never know. Like,
that's weird.
It's just a fun thought. It's just a fun thought.
It's interesting though. Yeah, it's weird though. Like, to think of it that way.
One of the first things I told my friend after the near accident, because I told him, I was like, yeah, like, thank God you didn't hesitate. But I also like told him, I was like, hey man, you just really thinned the herd. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, there's like a big amount of parallel universes of Giancarlo out there, and you just killed at least half of them. You just killed like half of them. and now I'm left with this half. So it's like, then yeah, it was like, wow, but that's.
But also what I thought was like one too, like he wasn't just thinking about, like he was not thinking about your safety or his own. Like that just was like not his thought process at all.
We got way too
It
close.
sounds like.
Yeah, no, we got way too close that night. It was, and we haven't, you can tell that our boundaries have changed since. We're still best friends. I still love hanging out with them, but you can tell that it's just like there's a new level of respect that both of us we've learned a new level of like fear, essentially.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Dude, and there's so many stories about like near death. I remember my cousin in Mexico, he got head on by a drunk driver, and the drunk driver in Mexico, there's a lot more corrupt cops, just paid off.
That's so bogus.
Paid off the cop and left, and now my brother, my uncle's there. My cousin there, left with a totaled car, which as if he can do anything.
Yeah.
And his I think all he had was a cast. I think he only broke like his shoulder arm area, which
That's amazing. Like
out, but yeah, he can't. Oh, and the doctor had one of those like 1 inch to the left kind of stories. Like
you'd be done. It's crazy. I love Grey's Anatomy, and so I'm rewatching it probably, I don't know, this might be like the 5th time, and or 3rd. 16, I think.
And you're fifth watch. Fifth. Okay, that's all right. I got it.
So no, I think I'm on the 3rd. I think I've only watched it 3 times. This is my 3rd time fully.
Okay.
Like rewatching it. But it's nuts, like watching it and then being like, that could have really happened. Like, I don't know if I like, makes you think about it. Like the fact that like that actually, like they have those, not all of them, like sure, some of them are made up, but like, I mean, there's a lot of train. They just had an episode where it was like a train crash, and something came through, and like 2 people are now stuck on like together on a pole because like a pole came through, and I'm like, I'm sure that has happened. Maybe that's stupid of me, but like I am sure that has happened.
No, that happens
and
a lot.
Had to like figure out who is more likely to die, so they'll save the other person. Like just that sort of stuff. It blows my mind.
I mean, I cannot say out of fact, but it 100% would not surprise me if that has happened. That exact scenario, like literally exact scenario. And using that as a metaphor, it's like, okay, you only have enough food to feed one person, or you only have the equipment to heal one person. It's like who's as well as there was gonna be something I was gonna say about it. As well as the ones that we don't know of. That's it's like there's
ones we don't know of.
Yeah.
Like that is I just watched another episode where it was like it was New Year's Eve, and the doctor was like, it's New Year's Eve. This is the best time to get a donor kidney or a liver or anything, because of how stupid people are during this time. It's the holidays. People are dumbasses. And it's like, that's probably true.
It's crazy what it does to your psychology. It's like you shouldn't think of people like that. And it's like, dude, it's my job. Like
I see it every day. It's just.
I'll never forget my entire life, literally like my entire life. I've always pondered the concept of how much is a human worth, or how much is a soul worth, or is there a monetary value you can put on it, And then I got into life insurance.
Now
where the whole job is, all right, let's see how much
you're worth.
Yeah.
Like
that job really was not for me, but I learned a lot.
but you learned a lot. Like that's, oh my gosh.
Yeah, where I was the one teaching people, like, yeah, it's like, no, your life does have a monetary value. And if you want it to be greater, you need to do these things. But, and the kid who has no monetary value. But, it's all about, there's a difference between knowledge and comprehension. I comprehended it, but I didn't have the knowledge in it,
That makes sense.
There's a difference in it.
I love how this podcast was supposed to be about like teaching and during coronavirus, and it went all over the place.
I know. So these are my notes, right? And, yeah.
Scary movies was.
I have one note that says buying everything in your class. Like,
yeah.
to buy everything. And so out of all this, even though the topic was supposed to be school, corona, teaching, all that, and that was before we even started recording.
That wasn't even recording.
The most talked about
Speaking of buying everything.
Yeah.
So I went to Staples today.
Oh.
To buy everything. So honestly, like if you think about it, like if you look, I'm trying to think. So I've gone in. I finally put out actually an email for parents, and I was like, hey, our classroom has nothing this year. Teachers don't have a classroom budget. So I would love to have. I sent out like a teacher wish list, and within 30 minutes, like I had a ton of parents say, I just bought this. I'm sending you this tomorrow, and like it's amazing because parents, they do want to help you. And like these parents are great. Like I've had some really awesome. I have a mom who bought an air purifier for the classroom.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, and that's just amazing to have because it makes me feel better about the kids, and I'm sure it makes parents feel better too. But yeah, it's been like I didn't even have Staples in my class.
That's the struggle, son.
Yep. So, yeah. So like today, I went and bought. They needed whiteboards. I'll show you. Like, I can get it. They needed whiteboards, and
perfect.
Yeah. So,
how much was like one of those?
This was $5.99.
Okay.
Yeah. So which is nice because like Staples and Big Lots and I don't know about Target. I haven't figured out if Target does, but Staples and Big Lots gives teachers discounts. And I think it's Big Lots, it's about 10%. Today at Staples, it was about 25% off.
That's nice.
Yeah, so that was really nice.
So I recently have been getting back in contact with my dad. We've been getting closer and kind of bonding and all that stuff. So most of it is through the workshop. Like I told you, like the man cave, like
man cave.
Yeah. And so I've been building a couple things, and I forgot how nice it was to build stuff. Man, like having a whole garage full of tools, and you can just put stuff together and takes it's therapeutic. It's very therapeutic. Anyway, is there something that maybe I'd like for us to brainstorm on something maybe I can try to build you guys, something like simple that like you might need a lot of or something. I don't know.
Yeah, let me think of some things. I definitely
because my first thing that came to mind was like those, I mean, it's a bad time, but yeah, those whiteboard. Ooh, okay, first thought. Chalkboards. and no one uses chalk anymore.
Oh, seriously. Okay, so actually, for me, I want chalkboards for my class because they're for our sight words for learning how to spell things. That's one reason why I have chalk or the whiteboards there when they're doing their sight words. What I want them to do is learn how to look at it, then they're going to spell it on their arm, look at it again, spell it another way out loud, look at it one more time, and then the last time they're going to flip over their paper or their card, and then they'll have to write it on their own without looking at it. And what I want to do is do it with chalkboards, actually, sand, and then they have to build it out of Legos would be another one. So
That's
like
so creative. I really like that.
yeah, so that's something where I've been looking for chalkboards, and if you want to, I would love that. That would be amazing. Yeah. And then the same thing for, I mean, that's the most for literacy anyways, that is what I would like to do and use, because it's not just like they're not, like when we were in school, we just had to write the word over and over and over. It's like that's not doing anything. That's not like connecting.
Teaching me how to like come up with tricks, how to like not pay attention.
Yep. And so this would get them to do it in different ways and creative, like the Legos and doing it out of sand. There's this, have you heard of wiki sticks?
No.
So it's or like Play-Doh, like writing it in Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to write in Play-Doh, like or making it out of Play-Doh. So yeah.
I love the idea of like the Legos, or yeah, same with the Play-Doh, where you make it three-dimensional.
Yeah.
You force it to take on a life of its own, in a sense. Yeah, that's really interesting. Actually, now that I'm gonna try to share some notes with you later, because my sister, yeah, we were talking at once. It wasn't on the stream, but we were talking once about like different types of learners and learning and the right way to reach all types at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can try to like throw some info your way, maybe.
Definitely. I would love that. Yeah, because I have what I'm noticing is I have like I don't have a huge gap between the low and the high. They are spread out. It is like an even amount between low, medium, and high learners, which it's interesting because you usually have a very high gap, like a very big gap, and then maybe a few in the middle, but it's never at least for me, I've never noticed where it's been like equal across the board.
Yeah, it's been like so spread out.
Yeah.
I wonder if some of it has to do with Corona, where
I'm pretty sure it is.
I think kids are allowed to be themselves more. They're not so built within this structure. But
yeah,
that's why I was always so different. I never had that structure. I was going everywhere.
You were all over the place.
I still am. I love it. Chalkboards. We'll go into detail later about specifically what you want, but yeah, that's something insanely simple that I could do for you probably.
Like this size would be, or even like a smaller, like half that size.
And like front and back?
Yeah.
Chalk on the front and back. Do you want it to have like a bezel, or just kind of like a plain piece of wood, or like do you want there to be like a handle for it, or like a
like it doesn't need to be fancy at all.
Because yeah, my first thought is like you have a chalkboard, you don't have to think crazy, you have a square, a but then what I would like to do is to have the rectangle, to have two wooden handles on the sides of the rectangles. That way they can like flip it.
Oh, I like it. Yes.
Hang them, or something like that.
Yeah, I like it. Definitely.
Thoughts. That's what. So we'll come up with something. And yeah, that's actually something I want to do. Is like we were talking about how you mentioned early, like that sense of community you can get with the family, with that where especially with the teachers. I mean the parents.
The parents
are helping you out. And
Yeah.
I really like to have, I've really already felt, look at my hair, dude. I really felt like that sense of community during the podcast already. Like people bringing things and people like participating, helping and sharing. Like it's such a great thing. Like I told you, the AC unit broke, and my friend Ronnie was like, "Oh, I have a guy who can check it out for you." So it's like one of those like, "Hey, thanks." Just
Thanks.
you
That's
know,
so nice.
I love that sense of community. And so my favorite part now is like trying to force it, almost like trying to be like, what can I make for you? I want to do something. So many people are doing stuff for me. How can I return the favor? So it feels good.
It does feel good. I like it. Yeah. I mean, luckily, like the schools I've been in so far, the parents really do want to help, where I know like other schools, they don't. Parents are like, nope, you take my kid. That's it.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's a lot of times like depends on the state you live
Yep.
in.
Depends on the state and the town or city or wherever.
100%.
Yeah. It's just,
Like-minded individuals.
yeah. Yeah. I had something I was going to say, but I don't remember now.
Just because they're like-minded doesn't mean you're gonna like their mind. Well, dudette, we've been doing what, 3 hours now?
3 hours. Yeah.
That went very smooth. I honestly want to keep talking to you. Like, honestly, I wouldn't mind to keep talking to you.
I
But
just know I need to go print some things out before, and then also take the dogs on a walk.
dude,
I'm sorry.
no. What are you sorry about? I think I'm gonna be upset at you later because you're not giving yourself time. I get I get really mad at my sister for not just taking time to herself. Like she's just always doing for others. And what I tell her is like, nobody wants $1 from a homeless person. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't help others.
That's
First
true.
you, then do them,
Well, I'm definitely going to, I think after how last week was, and we have conferences this week. Our conferences are all on Zoom this week.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. And it's after school. So already like a full day and then after school for about 2 hours. I set the conferences up so that they're done at 5:30. I was not gonna go past that.
Yeah.
Which some teachers might. I don't want to. Like,
Yeah.
30
And
minutes is more than enough for each parent, I feel like.
I don't know enough to participate in this.
Yeah, no, I know.
I,
That's what they were last year. They were 30 minutes each, and that was plenty of time. Sometimes it was too long. Like, so
and this is specifically like this. So you're saying this is going to be over Zoom,
yeah.
and you control who comes and goes, or
Hmm.
oh, okay. And then like at 5:30, you're just like, sorry, I'm done.
Yeah, yeah. So they're only signed up until they have to sign up for them. So they have time slots, and so they pick what day they want to do and what time from 4 to 5, and that's
That
it.
makes a lot more sense because my first thought was like, uh, if I don't know, that seems like a hard cutoff, but now I realize like, no, there's multiple days.
Yeah, it's Monday through Thursday from 4 to 5:30 or 4 to 5, and they have time slots. So I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 signed up. So
you want to podcast them? I'll join.
that'd be so awesome.
Watch them. No joke. That's the best part is when you get all the walks of life and you get to
Right.
see in like a certain area and you're like, why do people act like that sometimes?
Right? Like, oh, okay. Yeah. No,
Very-
it's these parents, my first thing is like, I will straight up be like, you guys are amazing. Like, I just want to tell you, like, I appreciate all the help that you've given, like the newbie teacher who is new to the state and the school and the town, and just let me come in and teach your children, and you know barely anything about me.
I think a lot of it's because you keep it real. You're a very real person, and people can feel that, and people will vibe with that. So yeah, I'm glad you're getting that. I'm glad it's feeding back, you know.
Parents are nerve-wracking though. It is very like, I'm teaching your kid. I don't want to mess up your kid. I don't want to be that terrible teacher that I had.
Until it's like the Hillary Duff, it's like, oh, first kid.
Right.
Yeah, it's like then you realize it's just not that big of
It's fine. Whatever.
Kids are tough. They're meant to be malleable, you know.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for this. Is there anything else you want to bring up or mention? If you have anything, like everyone likes to, you know, like sponsor something that they're doing or want to shed light to. I don't know if you're like, hey, check out my Amazon wish list.
For real.
Shout out.
I have one, but I don't know how to even like access it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to help you or say like go to this site.
I have a classroom. It's like donate or adopt a classroom that I have. I don't remember. I think it's just under Kelsey Mueller.
So how can I adopt your classroom? If I was to go to adoptaclassroom.com or?
Yeah, so it's adopt classroom. Let me look at it really quick. I'll find it for you.
Thank you.
Adopt. Shoot. Adoptedclassroom.org.
I thought so.
Yeah, is what I have. And then yeah, I think it might be under my last year's class. But I will look into that and find out how to get back into that.
So you want me to look up Kelsey Mueller when I go to that site?
Yeah, I think that's how you do it. Or Miss Mueller's class or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's like a donations kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. So you can donate. I think it's like anywhere from like $5 to like thousands for a classroom. And then I go in and they have their own store, and then I can pick out things from the store. Like the money doesn't go straight to me. It goes to the things that are in the store. And then I think that it's a nonprofit too. So
we're giving you credit, and then you can use credit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. I love that idea. I 100% will probably end up trying to throw $5 on there at some point, you know.
Well, thank you.
Of course. But yeah, like I said, if there's anything else you want to shout out or some light you want to shed on something, your time to shine, girl. Or the next time you get on the podcast.
Or what?
The next time you get on the podcast.
Yes, I would love to be on again. That would be awesome.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see the difference. And we'll actually talk about Corona in school and stuff like that.
Well, and like by then, because we've only been in for 2 weeks, like we're just now getting into the swing of things. So who knows, by the time, if you have me on in like November, things could change by then too.
Dude, yeah, I'm going to tell people to watch this episode, and I'm going to see what they say. And I might even try to ask you to be on earlier because you're on the pulse, girl.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Dude, and you're also, sorry, crazy. I should have brought this up like a long time ago, probably, but like you're also my oldest friend that I have. Like,
I was just thinking that. I was like, how many years? It's past 10 years.
Yeah, it was junior high. We met junior high and just became friends. And
the friends.
Huh?
The best of friends.
And yeah, it's just crazy to think that it's been that long, and then it was that simple too. It's been simple being your friend.
It's been simple being your friend.
You're lying, but I appreciate it.
What?
All right, girl. I love you. Big hug. Talk to you soon. Text me, hit me up.
You know where to find me. And I will see you in May.
Oh, and actually, literally text me. I got a new phone. So it's the same phone number. Just text me. Like, so I got. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you in May.
Bye.
Bye.